All this story would begin in the exhibition tournament that the Gods of Destruction had. However, everyone had thrown themselves against Beerus, implying that he was the most powerful god and the most hated by all. Beerus was able to face all the Gods of Destruction equally. However, in the end, only Kaitala and Beerus would remain. All the other gods had been defeated, but when both launched their last blows, Daishinkan would get in the middle of both, stopping their blows.
That has been all. Now I'll give the rules of the Tournament of Power, so that you'll be prepared.
The rules would be the same, however all the gods had taken a little grudge to the god of Universe 7 Beerus, since his power was so much, he was even able to defeat them even though they were 11 against 1. Everything would go on as normal, with the victory of Universe 7 and the Android 17 bringing them back to all the universes. All the gods were furious, especially with the Saiyan Goku, who had achieved a power beyond a god of destruction. The only one who would be able to defeat him would be the god Beerus. That's right, both subjects of great powers belong to Universe 7. The god Vermouth would convene a meeting with all the other gods of destruction, as they could not allow that Saiyan and Beerus further increase their levels of power. All the gods would come to his call.
Gods of Destruction, like you, I feel humiliated to be revived by a mere mortal. Do you want revenge like me?
Of course we want revenge, but we can't do anything. If you both join forces, you'd be able to defeat us very easily.
That shouldn't be a problem if we summon this super destroyer.
No! I am not going to merge with all of you again to give birth to the super destroyer.
You know that it is the only alternative, because if we face them all, even the Saiyan would be able to eliminate them on his own. That Saiyan only pollutes the universe. He has no right to be alive. I'm gonna rip his head off his body. I think that's an excellent thought, Sherry. So tell me, gods, are you with me or against me? We're willing to do everything to finish off Beerus and Son Goku.
All the gods were very thoughtful, however, one of the wisest gods began to speak.
The plan of the god of Universe 711 seems excellent to me, but we're overlooking something of utmost importance.
The Saiyan Son Goku is the best friend of the King of Everything.
The god of Universe 8 Liquor's right. Although when we merge all our powers unite and multiply 100 times, we're not opponents for an angel. The King of Everything would finish this off without realizing it.
For that reason, do not worry. Look who's on our side.
At that moment, a Daishinkan would appear. However, there was something strange about this one, since its essence was not the same as the Daishinkan of the Tournament of Power. All the gods would bow.
Gods, don't worry. I'm on your side. I'm not the Daishinkan you know, as I was the High Priest of the Zeno-sama of the future who would abandon all the universes.
So, you're the guardian of the other Zeno-sama who's in our time?
That's right, Champa. Our Zeno-sama abandoned us all because that filthy Saiyan asked him to. Without knowing that the whole future would be exterminated, beings of great powers like the gods, angels, and me, we were affected since the whole universe began to disintegrate.
So, Father, so you intend to support the plan of our destroyer gods?
That's right, so you guys don't have to worry. Me, being the High Priest, I know every weak point of the King of Everything and how to finish him off. Again, I repeat, gods, are you with us or against us?
All that time, all the gods, having the support of the High Priest, would accept.
Our plan to end Universe 7 has begun. The moment of revenge.
Meanwhile, on planet Earth, Vegeta and Goku were fighting at sea. That's right, sometime later, Bulma had organized a party on a yacht, and both Saiyans were having a great workout while Beerus and Whis were tasting all the food.
Damn, Kakarot! Activate the Ultra Instinct again. Why are you holding back?
I'm not holding back, Vegeta. I just need to be in trouble to activate it.
Then I'll put you on the verge of death so you'll be able to activate it.
Well, Mr. Goku and Vegeta have surprisingly increased their level.
That's right. It's time to have a successor. I don't have time to be the most powerful god anymore. I would like it to be Goku, but since he doesn't like to destroy planets, I know he won't accept, so the perfect candidate is Vegeta.
Whis and Beerus would continue talking, however at that precise moment in which Goku and Vegeta were exchanging blows, a powerful attack was heading to Vegeta's blind spot, which would be able to finish with Vegeta, Goku would realize that with his power he would not be able to do anything. He would quickly activate his technique.
Kaioken increase 50 times!
Goku's power would explode in a matter of seconds, leaving Vegeta surprised since it was supposed to be a training fight. Beerus and Whis had also noticed the power, but they're too far away to do anything. Goku with all that power would give a powerful blow to Vegeta. Vegeta, furious, was approaching Goku at a high speed, but he was surprised to see how Goku was stopping their destructive power.
Damn it! I'll not allow this to fall onto Earth. Kaioken increased 100 times!
With the power that Goku had expelled, he was able to disintegrate that great power, since the law of destructive power is based on not being able to destroy any beings that exceeds the power of its bearer. And Goku, by increasing his Kaioken 100 times, was able to overcome the limit. Goku would return to his base state a bit exhausted.
Kakarot, what just happened?
I have no idea, Vegeta. I just knew that attack was directed at you.
At that moment, Beerus and Whis would stand next to Goku and Vegeta since they noticed the presence of the 11 Gods of Destruction.
What the hell's wrong with you? Why the hell are you in my universe?
At that moment, Vermouth would stand in front of all the other Gods of Destruction.
I know that must be going through in your head, Beerus. The universe, after all, brought us to life, but it was also the worst humiliation we could receive. That's right, we won't forgive you. We will finish each of you one by one.
I'll never allow that. I can only finish with all of you.
I agree with you, but let's see what you could do when you face the Super Destroyer. You know the limit of its power. Goku, Vegeta, attack! Don't let them summon the Super Destroyer!
Goku and Vegeta, noticing that even Beerus got nervous when they named that being, both Saiyans would go on to the attack. Goku had recovered his power thanks to Whis. Goku in Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken increased 20 times. He was able to face the weakest gods, while Vegeta in Super Saiyan Blue Evolution was powerful enough to keep some gods aside, and Beerus was able to take care of all the others.
It's too late, Beerus. When we arrived on this planet, we all prepared ourselves, only to complete the final step here.
At that moment, a pentagram would form on the entire planet Earth. That's right, and an extremely impressive power would be present. Beerus would likewise launch into the attack, but a strong bolt of lightning would make him retreat. That's right, all 11 gods were in the invocation of the Super Destroyer.
I don't know what the hell's going on, but we'll not be left behind. We'll summon Gogeta, the Hellborn Saiyan.
Goku and Vegeta, without thinking about it, giving birth to Gogeta once again. Gogeta, when realizing everything that was happening, would quickly pass to the Super Saiyan Blue maximum power. However, the power that was going to be released so much, leaving surprised even the same Whis. That's right, Gogeta was able to reach the most powerful state of Son Goku, achieving the Ultra Instinct. Daishinkan was watching everything that had happened would be said.
This is bad. Power of those two Saiyans is great, and when they invoked that fusion, their power exploded. I'm not satisfied with that. They access the Ultra Instinct. Their power is comparable to the Super Destroyer, since the most powerful god, that is Beerus, is not found in this invocation. The invasion was over, and they could observe a being which did not seem to be at all imposing. Well, after millions of years, I've been summoned again.
Damn you! You don't have enough power as long as you don't have my power!
Beerus, with anger, would throw himself against the new being. However, the Destroyer was able to stop his fist with only one hand.
So that's why I feel weaker than the last time you summoned me. But you still don't have the power to face me.
The Destroyer was about to direct a furtive blow, which would be able to knock him out of combat. But at that precise moment, Gogeta would appear in front of Beerus, stopping the blow of that guy with only one of his hands.
So you're the invasion of the 11 remaining gods? How interesting. Now you'll face me. Who the hell are you? How could you stop my fist in its tracks?
I'm the summoning of Goku and Vegeta, the most powerful Saiyans of all the universes, and I'm the angel who was born in hell, the mighty Gogeta!
Gogeta and the Destroyer would begin to exchange blows at an extremely impressive speed. Beerus would be surprised, since he would realize that Goku and Vegeta fused exceeded his power, but he was not 100% correct, because in Super Saiyan Blue, he would have been slaughtered very easily. It was thanks to the fact that when observing the subject, his body felt the danger only with his pressure, managing to access the Ultra Instinct maximum power. The whole Earth was being affected by such a monstrous battle. However, Whis, with the help of his staff, would be able to restore it all completely, and being able to place an energy field so that the Earth is not affected, Gogeta was overcoming the Destroyer. In a clash of attacks, the Destroyer exceeded its allowed limit, returning all 11 gods. The attack was about to eliminate them. However, at that moment, Daishinkan would appear in front of everyone. Whis Beerus realized his presence was pure evil. Daishinkan, with only one hand, was able to stop such an attack, and at that moment, he would thunder his fingers, making Goku and Vegeta return to normal. Daishinkan would knock out everyone except for Goku and Beerus.
Father, why is he doing this?
Because of that damned mortal, my time epoch was destroyed, so I'll destroy everything he loves.
Daishinkan would take both Saiyans, heading to the temple of Kami-sama, where he would quickly lock him up, and in the same way, he would place a divine seal of high power. Not satisfied with that, he would raise to heaven with all the other gods and would explode the entire planet.
Whis, are you with us or against us?
I'll never unite with a being like you.
I knew you'd say something like that, so die!
Daishinkan would throw a large sphere of energy, which Whis would try to stop, but the condensed power was too much and he would immediately perish. Daishinkan and all the other gods would leave to an inhospitable planet where Daishinkan would begin to give them some orders.
Firstly, what you need is to train a lot more. The fusion of only 2 mortals was able to defeat the fusion of 11 gods. And secondly, I need you to continue exercising your god positions normally. We cannot make Zeno-sama suspicious.
We understand about the training, Daishinkan-sama, but why must we still follow the orders of that dwarf?
You must follow his orders, because first, we must ask the Super Dragon Balls that the Destroyer gods are immune to the erasing technique.
Understood, Daishinkan-sama. That'll be what we'll do.
We are all in contact gods. Disperse.
All the gods would come out as flashes. Meanwhile, in the time room, Goku and Beerus were still not awake. After approximately 2 more hours, Beerus would be the first to wake up as he was less injured than Goku.
Damn it! As I could tell, the Daishinkan of the future was that brat Trunks has been corrupted by the negative energy and wants to finish with all of us.
At that moment, Goku would wake up in the same way, very badly wounded, because his wounds were serious. And at that moment, a portal would be created inside the time room from which Whis' staff would come out. At that moment, Whis' voice would be heard.
If you are listening to this, it must mean that I have died. With my last reserves of energy, I give you immortality, Mr. Goku. I give you all the knowledge to be able to break all your limits as a Saiyan. I trust you.
At that moment, Beerus would be filled with an immense rage, wanting to do everything to get out of that place. So much was the anger of Beerus, he was even able to open a tiny portal through which he wanted to leave. Goku would quickly take it.
Calm down, Mr. Beerus, please! If you leave this instant, Daishinkan will finish you and the death of Mr. Whis will be in vain! Let go of me, Goku!
You're right. I don't have the power to kill Daishinkan, but I'll kill all those bastards.
We shouldn't have brought them to life! Please, Mr. Beerus, calm down!
Goku, realizing that Mr. Beerus was not calming down and it was becoming increasingly difficult, he would access the Super Saiyan Blue with a Kaioken increased 50 times. Having immortality, his bones regenerated at an impressive speed. Beerus at that moment would understand everything.
I want to train so hard to defeat that damn Daishinkan. I swear I'll finish him with my own hands and not forgive him for murdering Whis. Not only do you want revenge, Mr. Beerus, I'll also make him suffer in the worst way possible.
Goku and Beerus would begin to train to be able to overcome their limits. At that moment, each one saw the right way to break their limits.
Mr. Beerus, despite being a god prodigy, you have a very powerful transformation. With this training, you'll be able to unleash it completely. Thank you very much, Whis, for everything. I swear I'll avenge your death. Mr. Goku, you being a Saiyan, you have no limit. These are one of the many traits of your power, but as I always told you, Mr. Goku, do not trust and always stay in the Ultra Instinct, because if there's any attack, your body will react by reflex. Goku in the same way would observe all the training he had to do. At that moment, Beerus and Goku would stare at each other, both launched an attack. Goku wanted to master all his transformations, would pass to the Super Saiyan God, which with both would begin to give a good battle. The two beings possessed a power that even surpassed the gods. Goku and Beerus needed their bodies to be strengthened to be able to withstand the large loads of energy that were about to increase. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Daishinkan was very thoughtful.
This is very strange. I don't feel the presence of Whis or the god Beerus. I'll go ask something to the god Champa to see if he knows what happened to his brother.
Daishinkan would quickly create a portal with which he would leave to Universe 6. Daishinkan would arrive in a few moments, observing the god Champa very agitated. That's right, Champa was training just as the Daishinkan from the future had said.
Well, well, but if it is a surprise to observe the god Champa training, what'll happen to make the laziest god train?
You'll soon find out, Daishinkan-sama.
I'm looking forward to it, but that's not the main reason for my visit. Tell me, Champa, do you know the whereabouts of your brother Beerus?
Last time we spoke, he was able to tell me that he was going to the outskirts of the universe to train with his Whis Angel.
But in the outskirts of the universe, the conditions are extreme, even for me.
That's exactly what I told him, but he said that he would overcome all his limits and that nothing and no one would stop him. Daishinkan would give a little smile.
Beerus being so Beerus. He wants to keep the position of the most powerful god of destruction. Thank you very much for the information, God Champa. We'll be in touch soon.
Daishinkan would leave again to the realm of everything. At that moment, Champa would observe Vados. Vados,
I hope you're ready. The plan to overthrow the king of everything is about to begin.
Vados and Champa continued with their great training. In all the universes, the gods were training. Meanwhile, with the Daishinkan of the future, he was very thoughtful. That's right, he would know how to get rid of his counterpart and both guardians.
With my other part, I'm sure to defeat it. I have increased my powers a lot, but if both guardians join, I'll be finished. I don't know what I should do.
Meanwhile, returning to the realm of the whole, Daishinkan felt the same way that something was wrong. Being a supreme angel, he had a much more developed perception.
Something very bad's about to happen. I better train. I'll also inform the king of everything.
Daishinkan would talk to both kings of everything, informing them everything that was happening.
Daishinkan, being an angel prodigy and being chosen as my guardian, I'll not overlook your preeminence. Guardians, we'll all train from now on.
As you command, great Zeno-sama!
Daishinkan and his power would create a room which was perfect for the training of the kings of everything or supreme guardians, since its gravity and environment were perfect to increase their powers. Going to Universe 6 and the planet Sedala, Kale and Calufia were training. That's right, they also wanted to reach Super Saiyan Blue phase.
Damn it! I want to be able to defeat the old man Goku! But sis, Mr. Goku's very powerful. I don't think we have the power to defeat him. Of course we don't have it now, but in a very short time, we'll be able to defeat him.
Meanwhile, where Daishinkan was, a great idea had occurred to him.
If the Super Destroyer didn't have the power it had before, it's because it lacked the power of Beerus, the most powerful god. But if all the gods train and absorb the most powerful warriors of their universes, they'll reach an incredible level.
Daishinkan would communicate with all the gods mentally.
Gods, I want you to absorb the power of all mortals of great power. I trust you.
All the gods would accept. However, the most thoughtful would be the gods of Universe 6, Champa, and the gods of Universe 7, Vermouth, since they possess the most powerful warriors of all the universes. However, they were not going to disobey the orders of the High Priest. The first to start between the two would be Champa. That's right. Champa began absorbing the weakest beings of his universe to finally have the necessary power to face Hit, Kefla, and Kaba. However, of all that Champa was doing, Hit had noticed.
Damn it! Mr. Champa's absorbing all the warriors of this universe. This is bad. Sooner or later I'll have to face him. I must communicate with the Saiyans.
Quickly, Hit went to the planet of the Saiyans, informing them everything that was happening, leaving them very surprised.
But this is bad. We still don't have enough power to face a god. For that very reason I've come. I, the legendary assassin, will train you personally, making you warriors of great power.
But Mr. Hit, where do you plan to train us? Because if we raise all our power, Mr. Champa will be able to notice us.
Don't worry about that. I control the time, or have you forgotten?
Hit at that moment will create a rift in space-time, causing everyone to enter.
Here, even if they expel all their power, they won't be able to find us, or at least it'll take them much longer. So it's time to train.
Hit at that moment launched an attack against the three Saiyans, leaving them on the verge of death.
Damn you! Why didn't you let us know when you were going to attack us?
God of Destruction will never warn you when he attacks you. Now, you're just dead.
Hit with a medicine that he had received in one of his missions would make them recover quickly. The three obtained an impressive Zenkai. That's right, being on the verge of death, their battle level had increased in an impressive way. Returning to the room with Beerus and Goku, both had obtained an impressive physique, and their power had increased in an incredible way. At that moment, both would feel ready to access their transformation. The first one to try it would be Goku, who, from one moment to another, was able to access the Ultra Instinct and would begin to increase his power remembering Whis' words.
Mr. Goku, imagine you are in the Tournament of Power. Since this power of a Saiyan is defined by anger, with the Ultra Instinct by a state of calm, you can maintain a balance. You'll be able to access all of your first transformations.
Goku would do as Whis had told him, beginning to imagine the Tournament of Power. Goku began to increase his power in an unusual way, being so much that the whole room of time would begin to shake.
The power that Goku is releasing is impressive. Can't believe all the power that he's capable of releasing.
Goku, from one moment to another, would shine a great light all around him, leaving Beerus without vision. When he opened his eyes, he would be surprised to observe a Goku very similar to when he faced on planet in the North Kaio. That's right, Goku had accessed the Super Saiyan Phase 3 Ultra Instinct. His power was so much that made Beerus tremble.
I'm not going to stay behind. Now it's my turn to transform.
Beerus would likewise begin to remember everything that Whis had told him.
Mr. Beerus, we have trained all our lives on your planet, so in that place you'll be able to create a trigger for all your power.
Beerus would begin to imagine in the same way. That's right, the power of Beerus began to increase in such an incredible way that even on this occasion, it would leave Son Goku surprised.
Mr. Beerus is impressive. I didn't think he had increased his battle level so much.
Beerus would continue to raise all his power. That's right, at that moment that his power reached its limit, he began with his great transformation. After a few moments, Beerus had finished his transformation and you could see an imposing Beerus.
Are you ready, Goku, to finish with those bastards?
Yes, sir, Beerus. It's time for revenge.
Both unleashed their power, distorting all that dimension. Goku and Beerus would begin to release a gigantic power, making the whole dimension shake, creating several portals. However, they still didn't have enough power to get out of that place.
Interesting. It seems we're trapped by a high-level divine seal.
Ha ha ha! But that won't be enough to stop us! Our power surpasses all the seals they put on!
That's right. But for now, it's correct that we can't get out. But in a short time, we will.
Goku and Daishinkan began to train again, but this time to release a power beyond its limits. Goku, in his mind, would be able to see the transformation of the Super Saiyan Phase 4, for which he needed his tail. However, in his mind, he would hear again the voice of Whis.
Mr. Goku, I know that we would achieve the Super Saiyan Phase 3 combined with the Ultra Instinct now. His new evolution will be the Super Saiyan Phase 4, for which he has already foreseen that he would need his tail.
At that moment, Goku's tail would grow again, not suffering any superficial change.
So by recovering my tail, I'll have much more power. This is great! It's time to start training much harder than before.
Goku and Beerus would begin with one of their last training sessions. That's right, the final battle was about to be decided. Meanwhile, outside the room, Daishinkan was preparing an army to face the King of Everything. His guardians and his counterpart, what this Daishinkan did not foresee, was that his counterpart and the King of Everything of this era, as well as his guardians, were also trading.
I'm very close to banish that damn dwarf. I swear that I'll shatter him with all my power.
At that moment, the Vermouth god of Universe 11 would appear in front of Daishinkan.
Vermouth, what can I do for you?
Great Daishinkan-sama. I don't know if it's wise, but why don't we ask for the help of a Super Saiyan warrior with the Super Dragon Balls?
That's a great idea. I have an idea. Since the gods are on our side, we'll go to Universe 10 and use one of the time rings.
Daishinkan and Vermouth would head to Universe 10, arriving quickly, where they were greeted by the Supreme Kaio-sama. Daishinkan would explain everything, asking for a Ring of Time. The Kaio would not deny it. At that moment, Daishinkan and Vermouth, thanks to a super portal managed to reach a new timeline. They gathered the Super Dragon Balls in a few moments.
Now yes, it's time! Great God Zarma, come out and fulfill my desire.
At that moment, the Great God Zarma would appear.
Tell me what is your wish. I can fulfill anything.
You as the all-knowing being, I want you to bring to life an extremely powerful warrior.
I understand. It is a very easy wish to fulfill. His name is Archon, but he's also known as the Swordsman of Death.
Zarma's eyes at that moment would shine. The whole place where they were began to see in lightning, earthquakes, and in other disasters. That's right, the being he had brought to life was an incredibly powerful being.
This level of strength is amazing. How are you feeling, Vermouth?
Daishinkan realized that the god Vermouth was not able to breathe. He would create a barrier with which he would be able to move again.
Who is it that brought me to life? This is fascinating.
It's us, Archon. We need your help.
But you're Daishinkan-sama, cursed. Because of you, I was annihilated millions of years ago.
You're wrong. Deku-sama was my father. I'm Daishinkan-sama, his protagonitor.
So Dekuso's son has brought me back to life. This is interesting.
All the Destroyer Gods and I have organized a revelation against Zeno-sama and Daishinkan from another timeline. Will you help us rule everything?
Of course I will. I'll wipe out every divine being that gets in our way, especially the King of Everything.
Daishinkan would say to himself,
"That guy that Zarma brought to life seems to have an impressive grudge against Zeno-sama. This is perfect. This way it'll be much more effective."
Daishinkan was about to leave together with Vermouth and Archon, however Archon would tell him something.
I want you to bring my brother to life. He'll be of great help. He's the 007 swordsman.
Understood, but we must go to another timeline, but one question. Why 007?
That's the number of beings he's annihilated. A being that only wiped out 7 subjects. Do you really think he's helpful to us? Simple, God. Wait for your superior to finish speaking. He has annihilated 7 beings in his entire existence, but the 7 are the kings of the entire fallen multiverse.
Daishinkan would be very surprised because millions of years ago, a rumor spread through the 12 multiverses, and it said that a guy ended the lives of 7 kings of the whole.
So the rumor was true after all. A being who killed 7 kings of everything, even sacrificed himself to not kill the most powerful king of everything.
So, you know the story. That's right, he's my brother. His name is Kimura, the 007 swordsman.
Of course we'll bring him back to life. Don't worry.
Daishinkan and Vermouth and Archon would quickly create a new portal going to a new timeline. When they arrived, they did the same as in the previous one, only this time they revived the 007 swordsman. Nothing had happened, no noise or explosion.
So, after millions of years, they have brought me back to life. Well, long time no see, brother. So, you remember me. That's good, Kimura. I wouldn't be such a scum to forget my own brother. But tell me, why did you bring me back to life?
Archon began to explain everything that had happened and that they were about to face the King of Everything, Zeno-sama, and take over this multiverse. Kimura, very excited, would accept. At that moment, everyone would return to their original timeline.
But before we start the great battle, I'll end the lives of the remaining 4 kings of everything.
Daishinkan was about to say something, but Kimura had already disappeared from that place.
Damn it. If that guy gets in trouble, it'll be a problem, since none of the other kings know that he has come back to life.
Don't worry, priest. Nothing bad'll happen. I can assure you that.
Daishinkan would stop thinking about what happened, starting to organize all his team. That's right, all the gods were even already immune to Zeno-sama's racing power. Meanwhile, in the time room, Goku and Beerus would be in the terminal phase of their training. That's right, Whis, by granting Goku all the Saiyan knowledge, was able to break all his limits.
It's time! By Whis giving me knowledge, I'm sure I won't lose my mind.
Goku at that moment would create an artificial moon in his hand, throwing it to the sky, and Goku would begin to observe it. In that same instant, Goku would begin to transform to that gigantic Ozaru.
Goku, are you alright? Can you control that state? Of course I am, Mr. Beerus. This gigantic Ozaru will not lose his mind.
Goku at that moment would begin to transform into the Super Saiyan Phase 4, but before finishing his transformation, Goku would combine it with his Divine Ki, observing the variants of the Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4 and the Ultra Instinct Phase 4. Both new transformations broke all the laws of the logic of the power, since a simple Saiyan was able to overcome the power of an Angel Supreme level.
Mr. Beerus, I'm ready to begin our revenge. I think that's great, Goku, but don't be in a hurry. Control all that power so you don't wear out your energy. You're right, Mr. Beerus. Let's train for a while longer so we'll be able to finish those bastards quickly.
Goku and Beerus would begin with their last training, where they both trained their peace of mind and spiritual base. Meanwhile, with Daishinkan and Archon, it had already been a week since Kimura had left, but at that moment Kimura would appear in front of everyone.
Did you defeat all the other kings except for Zeno-sama?
That's right. It was too easy. The only problem was the king of the most powerful everything.
Daishinkan couldn't believe that the Kimura of the 007 swordsman possessed. However, Daishinkan would come out of his astonishment when he'd hear Kimura again.
Tell us, priest, when are we going to finish with this king of the multiverse? I can't wait to do it.
I ask you to be patient, please. Very soon we'll bring down that damned one.
At that moment, all the other destroyer gods would arrive, which had increased their power in an unreal way, being so much that even the power of some of them was compared to the power of their guardian angel.
We're all ready. I don't know what the hell we're waiting for.
You're right, Kimura. Tomorrow we'll give the final blow to the kingdom of everything. So get ready, all of you.
All the gods bowed as a sign of being ready for battle. However, at that moment, a strong tremor would be felt throughout the universes, and an extremely impressive power would be present. That's right, it was the power of Zeno-sama, his guardians, and the great priests.
This can't be! The power of those bastards has increased in an amazing way. I can't believe it!
Well, despite being only 3 warriors, it'll be a very fun battle since their power's not low at all. It's time to attack! I won't let them catch us off guard.
Wait! Don't predict. I know you're very powerful, but we must have a strategy.
On that occasion, Daishinkan's right. The most powerful of that king, although he doesn't compare to the power of the most powerful king, I'm sure it could cause you problems.
Gods, create the Super Destroyer.
All the gods would create the Super Destroyer again, however this time the power it gave off was even more powerful than when Beerus joined them.
This power is amazing. I can't believe that all this power is flowing through all my ki veins. Well, we are 4 against 4 since 2 of the Guardians will face my Destroyer and Archon, while Kimura will face Zeno-sama and me with my counterpart. Any doubt?
Nothing to be heard in the whole place.
So, now it's time to attack. Let's go!
At that moment, the 4 beings would increase their power to the maximum, being perceived by the 4 beings of the whole realm.
So Daishinkan was right. These guys are ready to finish us off.
At that moment, a portal would open in front of all of them. But that's right, Daishinkan had overlooked something since there were 2 Zeno-samas, so there were also 4 Guardians.
Plan B. Time to finish them off with a big wave of energy.
all would create a giant sphere of energy of massive destruction, being received by a wave of energy by the beings of the Kingdom of Everything. After a few minutes, their attacks colliding, a great explosion would be created. Daishinkan and Zeno-sama would be surprised to observe another Daishinkan. However, they would not say anything, and at that moment, a great battle would begin, in which all in a matter of a few moments that the battle had begun, two of the Guardians had fallen into the hands of Kimura, while Daishinkan, of an attack of energy, had left the Destroyer on the verge of death. In that moment, Kimura would be in front of Zeno-sama, and both would observe each other fixedly.
I'll not let you destroy my universe. I swear we'll finish you in that evil version of Daishinkan.
I will finish you. You don't deserve that power. The King of Everything should not be a simple child. I'll fight to the end with you, evil part. Let's see who dies first.
The great battle for the future of Zeno-sama's multiverse had begun. That's right, depending on which side won, the destiny of the universe would be defined. Both Daishinkan were fairly even matched, which annoyed his evil side.
Damn it! How is it possible that you have the same power as me? I come from the future. My power must be much higher than yours, you damn worm. As you know, we priests have much more developed perception of danger. That's why I started training.
Meanwhile, with Kimura, he was in a great battle with Zeno-sama. That's right, the battle of both was the most devastating. They were moving through all the universes and all the space-time at an extremely impressive speed. At that moment, both would take a little distance to recover for a few seconds.
Your power is much higher than the so-called king of the most powerful everything. With you, I've been able to enjoy again what a real battle is. The same thing. I've always remained in the shadows as the weakest king of all, but when I transform, I know that my power surpassed the most powerful king.
Both subjects began again with their battle, which destroys each planet of the 12 universes since the collision of their fists released destructive energy as well as angelic energy, thus creating the planets who do not withstand the power of both energies combined. Meanwhile, with Archon, this was an easy battle, something that even both Guardians. However, it was not so easy due to the fact that he didn't have it too easy to say so. However, he did not have it so easy because the power of the Guardians had also increased in an impressive way, being able to sometimes give him some blows which wounded him for a few minutes. However, Archon was not behind, since he also received them with blows that a normal being was hardly able to withstand.
Damn useless servants! You're giving me more problems than I imagined.
We are the guardians of the King of Everything. So we must have great power to be able to be at this level. We do not depend only on his power.
Meanwhile, in the Room of Time, Goku and Beerus had finally finished their last training, since at that very moment the voice and the silhouette of Whis could be observed for the last time in the room where they were. You have finished with your training. I congratulate you. With the training you have done, no angel and even a great priest would be able to defeat you. But do not trust, because in all universes there are always beings that can impress you.
Whis, I know you can't hear me, since it's only energy that is talking to us, but I promise that one way or another, I'll bring you back to life. You're like a father to me. Mr. Whis, thank you very much. I swear to avenge your death. We won't let you down.
Goku and Beerus at that very moment began to increase their power to the maximum, being able to explode the Room of Time without any difficulty. At the moment that both warriors left, an incredible power was felt by all the 12 universes. That's right, Goku and Beerus had not been contained in the least, feeling their power even the warriors who were fighting in the Kingdom of Everything. However, at that moment, they left completely since they appeared in space since Daishinkan had destroyed the Earth. That bastard was not enough to lock us in that damned place. He also destroyed the Earth. I swear that this day, I'll finish with that bastard. Goku, apparently the Daishinkan of the future is in that palace of the whole thing. A great battle is taking place. Goku and Beerus at that moment began to fly at an amazing speed through all the universes, even being able to create space-time gaps. Returning to the battle, all beings had been paralyzed by the power that could be felt. This is the power of Beerus and that Saiyan. This can't be happening. I sealed them with the divine seal. They shouldn't be able to leave. It's a damn nightmare. At that moment, Daishinkan took advantage of the opening to be able to connect a big blow, which would make him fall to the ground very badly wounded.
So you're the one who locked up Beerus and Son Goku. Even God Champa was your accomplice. Can't believe he was able to betray his own brother.
Daishinkan would recover from the blow and quickly increase his power to the maximum, even surpassing his limits.
We must finish these bastards quickly. That Saiyan and Beerus joined forces and will be dead.
Daishinkan began to beat up his counterpart quickly, because he knew that facing this Saiyan would be a much closer battle than facing a king at all. Daishinkan, having negative energy and taking the battle much more seriously, would be able to quickly leave the present Daishinkan in terrible conditions. Daishinkan would quickly join Archon's help, being able to quickly finish both Guardians.
Just like you, I'm also a nervous priest. The power that was felt before was a power that even I'm not able to comprehend.
Kimura was having a very even battle with Zeno-sama, and that bothered him more and more, because in all the universes, they're afraid when they hear the name of Kimura, the 007 swordsman.
I don't care if I lose my pride as a warrior. This is a battle, so between the three of us, we'll finish you, the damn king of everything. But I must admit that you've earned my respect.
Kimura, Archon, and Daishinkan quickly attacked Zeno-sama, who, despite having an incredible power, would not be able to fight against the three of them at the same time. That's right, the power of the three together had been so much as to leave Zeno-sama wounded in terrible conditions quickly. Even Zeno-sama was able to return to his base state.
Hell, if it were the three, I could manage a little, but with the three, it's too much.
At that moment, the three warriors launched a great attack, which, when united, would form a great sphere of massive destruction. Zeno-sama at that moment would close his eyes, accepting that the end had arrived. Nevertheless, he would hear a voice that he would recognize at once.
My friend Zen-chan, you mustn't worry. I know it's been late, but we've arrived.
Great Zeno-sama, don't you have a worry. We're here, and we'll take care of it.
Goku at that moment had made the attack so tiny to make it disappear with only two simple fingers. Goku would return to observe them with a cold look. That's right, Goku before arriving had returned to the perfect Ultra Instinct. He didn't want to use his most powerful transformation against the subjects that they were going to face.
Observing you, I can see all how your ki is evil, so you leave me no choice but to finish you off.
I don't know who you are, and I don't care. I thought that the being that released such power was going to come to this place, but your simple Saiyan could finish you off quickly.
Goku, not caring about what the guy had said, would return to observe the destroyer, throwing a small sphere of energy at him.
I have given you some of my power.
Are you stupid? Don't you know that I'm your enemy?
Of course I know, but before we finish you off, we'll torture you.
Goku at that precise moment had given a blow to each of them, starting to give a beating to three of them. That's right, Beerus had been left alone with the destroyer, who felt how Beerus crushed him with his pressure. But being the fusion of the 11 gods and angels, he was a little confident.
It doesn't matter if you're the most powerful god. You don't have enough power to...
The destroyer wasn't able to finish his sentence because at that moment, Beerus had given him such a great blow that it made him spit blood.
Because of this damned fault, my master Whis has died. I swear that I'll make ashes each of his bones, and when they're about to die, I'll give them energy to twist them again. I'll do it as many times as necessary to feel good.
Beerus at that moment would begin to massacre the destroyer. That's right, Beerus at that moment had grabbed him by one of his legs and like a wild beast would hit him with everything that was in front of him, destroying planets, galaxies, stars. Meanwhile, with Goku and the trio of subjects, Goku would remain standing in front of the three, which the only thing he was doing was provoking them.
I didn't know the warriors that you had recruited were so weak, Daishinkan. Really, instead of going forward, you're going backwards. Even with just one of my arms, I'd be able to fight with any of you.
Archon, who had been the angriest, launched himself against Son Goku. However, what Goku said would be true, since Goku's power had grown so much that he was cornering him using only one of his arms. Daishinkan at that moment, furious, launched himself into the attack. Kimura, observing that both launched themselves into the attack, the three warriors thought they had the advantage of being 3 against 1. Well, this was totally wrong, because at that moment, Goku would expel a little of his power. They would make them all go back hundreds of meters. But Goku at lightning speed would hold Daishinkan, teleporting to another dimension.
In this place, 1 year is equivalent to 1 minute in the real world. so I plan to torture you until I'm able to feel good.
Goku at the instant began to torture Daishinkan in a way that seemed to be a beast. The pure hatred Saiyan who loved life seemed to have died. For only 15 minutes, Daishinkan would kneel down in front of Goku.
I'm sorry, Saiyan God's son Goku. I swear, I'll go to my timeline. You'll never know anything about me. I'll even revive Whis. Please, spare my life.
Goku at that moment would teleport to Daishinkan's back, and like a beast, he would pierce him with a single punch.
I'll never let an insect like you live. You even dare to destroy my planet!
Goku at that moment would take out his fist and would launch a great attack that would begin to reduce him to simple atoms. While Daishinkan was disintegrating, he was able to say his last words.
No matter what you do, you'll never be at the level of a god. With my death, the angelic world will go against you, and you'll never leave you alone until they kill you.
At that moment, Daishinkan would be completely turned into dust. Goku would come out of the dimension without warning. He'd give a big blow to Kimura and Archon, which were heading against Beerus. When Beerus felt the god power of Goku again, he knew he had finished with the life of Daishinkan.
It's time to end your pathetic life. Even your Champa betrayed me.
Beerus at that moment would throw a great sphere of Kai against him and turn the destroyer into ashes. At that moment, Beerus would stand next to Goku. At the same instant, both subjects had returned from the blow that Goku had given them.
I want to face the guy named Kimura. It's said that he's able to kill kings. I want to be able to see if he can kill a simple Saiyan.
Alright, then I'll take on the other guy.
At that moment, the four warriors began their great battle. But something that Daishinkan said was true, since in the angelic realm, the powerful Nin was furious when she perceived that the vital energy of one of her creations had disappeared.
I don't care who exterminated him. I want them to finish with that damned guy.
At that moment, the castle where the girl named Nin would explode. Nin was furious. In spite of blowing up her castle, she had not caused any damage. At that moment, one of her most powerful angels approached Nin.
Nin-sama, why are you so angry? What happened?
Mikoshin, you as the third most powerful angel of the angelic realm, I entrust you with the mission to finish with the wretch that ended Daishinkan's life.
Does anyone have the power to end the life of an angel of supreme level?
That's right, Mikoshin. That's why I chose you. Your way of fighting is very wild, and I know you'll be able to finish that damn plague. As you command, Nin-sama, with your permission, I'll go to fulfill my destiny. At that moment, Mikoshin at a great speed would leave the angelic realm. That's right, Mikoshin was heading to the multiverse of Zeno-sama at an incredible speed. Meanwhile, with the Battle of All, Goku little by little was putting in great trouble to Kimura. That's right, Goku was not even using his maximum power, but he was able to put him against the ropes. While Beerus, being a little weaker than Goku, was in an even battle against Archon. While they were fighting, Daishinkan and Zeno-sama were surprised observing such a destructive battle.
My friend Goku's become a very powerful being. His power is so great that he's even capable of facing Kimura, the king-killing swordsman. I can't believe the power Mr. Beerus and Saiyan Goku has achieved.
At that moment, Kimura would fall heavily towards the planet, standing up with great difficulty. That's right, Goku's power was dulling him more and more.
I'm tired of playing with you. You don't have enough power to do anything to me. I better finish you right now.
Don't say stupid things. You're so exhausted, the only thing you're doing is showing off. Your power's great, but I'm not an insect that I can't force you to use all of your power.
Did you think I was using all my power? You're a poor worm. You're not worthy of me using all my power on you.
This must be a fucking nightmare. The greatest king killer is about to be defeated by a mere mortal.
Before you die, I'll show you the power that you could never defeat. From the beginning, I was only playing with you.
Goku at that moment would begin to increase his power in an incredible way, being able to make all the universes tremble. Goku's hair was growing. At that moment, a great light would leave everyone without vision for a few seconds. After that, Goku would be observed in an Ultra Instinct Phase 3.
This is the Super Saiyan Phase 3, combined with the Ultra Instinct. Although I've still much more power transformation, you're not worthy of observing it.
Kimura at that moment would begin to tremble since he stopped feeling Son Goku's ki, and Kimura, being an experienced warrior, knew what this meant.
If I stopped feeling his power, that means that the ki of that Saiyan is in another dimension much higher than mine. I hope you're ready to die. Since by this transformation, I'm able to finish you with a single blow, since I can't control my strength.
Kimura at that moment would try to escape at a high speed, however an incredible gravity would fall on his body.
What were you planning to do? Did you think I'd let you escape after knowing that you collaborated with Daishinkan? I've had enough of humiliating you, so now I'm going to finish you off.
Even if you finish me off, there'll always be existing beings more powerful than you and me, and they'll be able to crush you without pity.
No matter what happens, one way or another I'll be able to defeat them. We Saiyans have no limits.
Goku at that moment would throw a powerful Kamehameha, beginning to reduce them to simple atoms. When he disappeared, he cursed Goku at that same moment. Beerus, in the same way, had finished the life of Archon.
At last it's all over. Whis, I've avenged you.
At that moment, Zeno-sama together with Daishinkan would approach both warriors.
Are you still Goku, Beerus?
At that moment, Goku would return to his base state, giving a big smile.
Of course I am, Daishinkan. Now that I've overcome the power of an angel, I can feel that your power is completely pure. Nothing compared to your version of the future.
My friend Goku, we're glad to hear that you've won this battle, but the Angelic realm must be very upset with the death of the Daishinkan of the future.
That's what Daishinkan said before they killed him. Can you tell us what they meant by the Angelic realm? I didn't know of the existence.
At that moment, lightning would begin to fall from the sky. Mountains of the planet of everything would rise through the atmosphere of the planet. An extremely powerful warrior was above them.
The Angelic realm. It means that all angels have a backup. If someone is able to kill them, we will personally kill that being.
Mikoshin, I can't breathe. This pressure's crushing me.
Goku, observing that everyone was suffering from the pressure this beautiful angel was resisting. The only one who could manage to resist any difficulty would be Goku, because at that moment even Beerus would fall to his knees to the ground. Goku would create a large enough energy field so that they wouldn't affect by that woman's pressure.
I don't know who the hell you are, but even your power is much greater than the being that just said to have ended the lives of all the kings of everything.
Of course I'm more powerful than that supposed swordsman Kimura. If we compared him to me, it's like trying to confront a mere mortal with the king of everything. The distance of our power is like heaven and earth.
I hope you don't go back on your words, since I finished Daishinkan and I'm just a mere mortal.
So you're the one whose head I must cut off. This will be super fun. Since I can see that your power is something great, you'll be a great warm-up.
Mikoshin at that moment would disappear, and without anyone noticing, she'd be able to deliver a powerful blow to Goku, which would make him go through some mountains of the kingdom completely. Goku would spit blood and would be a little hurt on the ground.
Hell, if I had known this woman was coming, I would have deactivated my Ultra Instinct.
Goku at that moment would activate the Ultra Instinct again, putting himself in front of Mikoshin.
With the hit I gave you, I was able to end the life of a king altogether, even the one called Kimura. Tell me, what is your name?
My name's Goku, but I'm also known as Kakarot.
Well, this is going to be very interesting. I'll quickly end your life.
Mikoshin at that moment would begin to give a rain of blows to Son Goku. That despite being with the Ultra Instinct, he wasn't able to dodge them. That's right, the power of that woman surpassed him by hundreds of times. Goku on the ground would fall back to his base state.
Did you really end Daishinkan's life? You're too weak.
Goku at that moment would stand up furiously, starting to increase his power to the maximum, accessing the Super Saiyan Phase 3 with the Ultra Instinct, leaving Mikoshin a little surprised by such a sudden increase in power.
Wow! You multiplied your power approximately 50 times, but that won't be enough, since my power goes far beyond that.
We won't know until that fight. Zaru body activated! Supreme Endurance!
Goku at that moment launched himself against Mikoshin, however Mikoshin dodged every one of his blows. But when Mikoshin connected a blow, his bones were pulverized when they made contact with Goku's body. However, Goku would be sent thousands of meters flying away.
The hardness of your body, as far as I can tell, is multiplied 1,000 times more. You're able to break the bones of my entire right hand.
Goku at that moment would stand up with a very serious look on his face, as if he was a little confused by what happened a few moments ago.
What's going on here? My body's much more resistant than the hardest metal in the universe, and yet she was able to hurt me. That woman's not normal.
Goku would pull out his thoughts, and he heard Mikoshin's voice behind him.
You are a very smart Saiyan, but how about this?
Mikoshin at that moment had thrown a large sphere of energy, which Goku, with expelling his ki, was able to free himself. But at that moment, Goku would feel an incredible pain. That's right, Mikoshin was throwing punches with the pressure of his fists, and the body he exerted was so much that even exceeded the resistance of the body of an Ozaru.
If at the moment of hitting you I get hurt, I'll annihilate you with pure air blows. Although they say it's much greater agony, since you can even mix energy and pressure, making your pain agonizing for the opponent.
Goku was not able to do anything since Mikoshin was finishing him easily. Goku, while receiving the beating of his life in that instant, would say to himself,
"The power of this woman's incredible. I mustn't hold back. Even if I don't master it 100%, I have to use it. I must prepare to die."
Goku at that moment, in spite of receiving a beating, would begin to accumulate power. Meanwhile, inside the barrier, Beerus was surprised since not even the Power Son Goku was able to bend that woman.
That woman, from what I understand, is the third most powerful girl in the Angelic realm, being able to defeat all the kings together and using only one of her arms.
She is mighty Mikoshin-sama. I never thought I would have the honor of seeing her in front of me.
Don't say stupid things. That woman's about to kill Son Goku.
We can't do anything. Even if we got out of this energy field, the pressure of any of them would be able to crush us.
Damn, what should I do? We're being humiliated again.
Goku at that moment would give a roar of a beast completely, leaving Mikoshin a little astonished.
How is it possible to raise his power like that if he's being slaughtered by my blows? It really is a being to be feared.
At that moment, Goku's face combined with an Ozaru would be able to be seen all over the universe, leaving Mikoshin terrified.
What's that supposed to be? You're not a mere mortal.
Goku at that moment was accessing Super Saiyan Phase 4 with the combined Ultra Instinct. The power he was releasing was so much that even Mikoshin was surprised. From a big explosion, Goku would move at an incredible speed, being able to connect a sneaky punch in Mikoshin's stomach, making her kneel. That's right, Goku's power had been so much that even made an angel like Mikoshin kneel. However, Mikoshin, furious, would perform an advanced angelic technique.
Kendo Sekai!
A great attack like energy arrows and of a white color would invade the entire battlefield. That's right, Mikoshin's technique began to destroy everything around the universes, and Goku, with his new transformation, was able to dodge each one of the energy arrows.
His reflexes have improved incredibly. He was able to dodge every single energy arrow.
The power you possess is incredible. Despite using all my power, it won't be an easy battle.
Goku and Mikoshin at that very moment released a great power, making all the universes tremble and even cracking all around them. Mikoshin and Goku were releasing an incredible power. So much was their power that even several dimensional cracks were opening all over the place. At that moment, it seemed that the whole place was paralyzed. That's right, Goku and Mikoshin began to exchange blows at an even faster speed than the speed of light. After exchanging a few blows, Goku was able to connect an effective blow, which would send Mikoshin to fly to a planet, falling without any defense. At that moment, Goku would approach all the others.
Leave this place! I'll defeat her, but I can't concentrate or release all my power if I think I can hurt you. Goku, I trained with you. Are you sure you can stop that demon? We trained together, Beerus, but you never realized my true power. Now leave immediately!
They all began to leave at a great speed. However, Mikoshin, upon realizing this event, would throw a great sphere of energy at them, which Goku would reject.
Beerus, you're already much faster than Zeno-sama. Use your lightning speed and get out of here quickly.
Beerus at that moment would take everyone and seemed to have transformed into the same lightning. That's right, Beerus' speed had exploded. Only being able to see some lightning around, Beerus was moving at an incredible speed.
Damn, that damn cat's speed increased by an overwhelming amount.
Now that none of the beings I care about are here, I can unleash my power.
Don't say stupid things. The power you're using now is all your power.
If that's what you thought, I hope you're prepared for the power I am about to unleash.
Goku at that moment would return to his base state, leaving Mikoshin a little surprised, since his power had diminished rapidly. Mikoshin, without losing the opportunity to attack, however, Goku increased his power again to incredible scales, being able to push her away with a simple expulsion of his power.
I hope you're prepared for the transformation that even surpasses the Super Saiyan 4. This transformation still, we don't know what to call it yet, and no one's able to beat me in this form.
Goku at that moment would access the Ultra Instinct, but something to differentiate was the power he gave off.
What is it supposed to be doing? The power he's releasing is barbaric.
Mikoshin at that moment would be totally amazed. At the moment, she had observed the Omni mark on the forehead of that Saiyan.
Admire the power of the most powerful Saiyan of all universes! The Saiyan who even gave his life for his loved ones and was betrayed by everyone.
Goku at that moment would continue to increase his power in such an overwhelming way that even Goku's power would reach the Angelic realm.
This power is from that guy who's fighting with Mikoshin. This is incredible. I don't think Mikoshin will be able to face him.
At that moment, a new guy would appear,
Nin-sama! The power that is released from the multiverse is Zeno-sama is incredible. Even Mikoshin's capable of losing his life. I personally, the second most powerful angel of the Angelic realm, will take care of that miserable mortal.
I trust you, Geika. Your power is so great that you can end the life of a king with just one finger. But the power that's released is incredible.
Don't worry, my lady. I'll bring the head of this wretch to our palace.
Geika at that moment would also go to the multiverse's Zeno-sama. Goku would still continue to increase his power in an amazing way. From a great glow, you could see Goku, who was with his new transformation, even some marks all over his body.
I'm ready. Now I hope you could do something, because in this transformation, I'm not able to contain myself in the least.
Goku at a speed that even surpassed Mikoshin would give her a great blow that would leave her seeing everything blurry. That's right, she could even observe how everything around her was moving quickly.
It shouldn't be happening. The blow you gave me has done terrible damage to me.
Goku at that moment, without giving any time, would begin to beat up the angel. While Goku was giving him blows, she would say to herself,
I have to knock her out quickly before I can feel my power begin to diminish. Great power begins to approach.
Goku and Mikoshin would continue exchanging blows. After 3 more minutes, Mikoshin was in terrible condition. That's right, she was no longer able to continue. Goku at that moment would approach Mikoshin.
I can see that you don't have evil ki. You're only following orders and I won't kill you.
However, at that very moment, Goku would arrive at the battlefield, giving him a great blow, which would make him retreat a few meters.
Mikoshin, are you alright?
Mikoshin wouldn't say anything, knowing that the Saiyan would have ended her life whenever she wanted. However, she didn't do it.
I swear that I'll crush every one of your miserable bones until you beg for your pathetic life. I'll not only finish you off, even your cursed offspring.
Goku at that time would stand up, staring at him.
You don't have the power to back up your words. You're a simple insect.
Goku at that moment began to give some blows to Goku, which he dodged and blocked. Goku, realizing that his power was about to fade, he would quickly use all his power in his last blow, communicating telepathically with Mikoshin.
The attack that I was going to perform this very moment has the necessary power to finish with all the 12 universes. Now that you're not a bad person, unlike the guy who arrived, I use all my power in this blow.
Goku at that moment began to increase his power in an incredible way. Son Goku's power was gathering in his fist.
Receive this! And Killer Dragon God's attack!
A great white dragon would come out of Goku's fist, which was destroying everything around him. The moment Geika, realizing such a monstrous technique, would increase a large part of his power.
That won't be enough. Dark Mythic Dragon, Travelor!
At that moment, a great dark dragon would come out of Geika's body. Both attacks begin to collide. Not being able to see a clear winner after 30 seconds of colliding, the powerful dragon of Goku is able to pulverize Geika's dragon. Goku at that moment would fall out of combat and unconscious. Goku with his last energy would begin to use to teleport, while Geika would be hit with that great attack, being disintegrated quickly.
Curse! Angelic barrier!
Mikoshin was able to create a powerful barrier, which, despite having much of her power, was severely cracked.
I can't believe it! That guy's power is really scary. His power is so much that it's hard to believe that he's a mere mortal.
Meanwhile, with Beerus and the others, they had reached their planet. That's right, Beerus, with all the power he had, was able to place a strong barrier throughout Universe 7. Meanwhile, with Goku, he was able to feel that key of the hit, although it was something different. He would quickly use teleportation to reach Hit, Kaba, Kale, and Khalifa. That's right, these 4 warriors of Universe 6 had not been absorbed by being hidden in another dimension.
They're Goku, but how did you get here? More importantly, where were you? I searched for you all over Universe 7 because we needed your power.
Goku at that moment would be out of combat. He would quickly take out again one of the pills he had collected in one of his missions by feeding it to Son Goku. However, the wounds were so serious that he would still be out of combat.
I don't know what happened to you, but I could tell that you came from a battle that almost ended your life.
Returning to the planet of Beerus, he was very thoughtful about everything that was happening in the 12 universes. At that moment, a great golden light was able to be observed by all the universes. It was a symbol of the light that was able to be observed, and one of death, of the greatest, highest ranks of angels. At that moment, in Angelic realm, Nin would be much more furious to realize that Geika, his second commander, had fallen in battle.
Damn it! I don't know who you are, but I'll personally put an end to all your existence.
At that moment, all the universes seemed to be frozen by the great golden energy that ran through each one of them. Meanwhile, with Mikoshin, that battle had made him change his ideals. That's right, Mikoshin killed and murdered by all the others of his queen, and that Saiyan was able to spare his life because he felt goodness in his heart. From now on, I'll choose my own destiny, and first I want to find who you are, Goku. Even Nin's not evil, but Yamoto has been manipulating her for millions of years. Mikoshin would recover completely, starting to look for Son Goku in all the 12 universes. Meanwhile, the dimension which Hit had created, Goku after 1 week would wake up, being surprised to observe the warriors of Universe 6.
I'd only felt that your key, but Hit, I realized that they're all here. Don't worry, there you are, Goku. But tell me, where were you all this time?
Goku at that moment started to explain everything that had happened, even the battle with Daishinkan and the 11 Destroyer Gods.
So that's why Champa wanted the power of all of us. But it's all over now, and we can relax for a moment.
Goku at that moment would change his expression to a much more serious one.
Nothing's over. Some beings which come from the angelic world want to destroy this whole universe because of the fact that I finished with Daishinkan of the future.
Do we have a chance to defeat them?
Of course we have a chance to defeat them, but it won't be easy because their power's amazing. I ended up in terrible condition when I fought with their second commander. We have become very powerful with Kale, so we'll be of great help in this upcoming battle. But teach us how to reach the Super Saiyan Blue.
Goku at that moment would smile a bit.
Of course I'll train them, and we'll save all the universes.
Returning to the planet of Beerus, everyone would remember that Zeno-sama was very thoughtful and that everything had happened.
This is all very strange, since as far as I remember, Nin-sama was the creator of the angelic realm loved by mortals. She'd never dare to do such an atrocity. I agree with you, Zeno-sama. Something very strange is happening in the upper echelons of the divine world, and we must be prepared or we'll die without putting up any resistance.
Of course we will put up resistance. If they want to take our lives, we will fight.
Meanwhile, in the angelic world, Nin was organizing an army of angels. However, in his mind, he would hear the voice of Yamoto.
Nin, you must not use an army of angels. If you do, all the other multiverses will know of my existence and what we're planning. So just gather the 3 most powerful angels and let them go with you.
Sure, you're right. Nin at that moment would try to contact Mikoshin, however, she didn't respond to his call.
Mikoshin, if you don't show up at the Angelic Palace in less than 24 hours, we'll consider you as a traitor and we'll finish you off.
I'm no longer interested in any of that. I swear I'll make you return to the way you were before. You're the most incredible genius. Don't let them manipulate you.
Meanwhile, with Beerus, he had agreed to his transformation, maximum power observing Zeno-sama and Daishinkan.
This time I'll be the one to train them. We must increase our powers.
Daishinkan would increase his power to the maximum, while Zeno-sama would charge to his maximum power of combat form. Beerus had access to his maximum power with the intention of training the once most powerful divine beings.
I'll not use lethal blows on you, but you must be able to endure great agony to create from your body an indestructible barrier.
Understood, Beerus. We trust you. Beerus at that moment would begin to move at an amazing speed, which seemed invisible to both deities, which tried to be on the defensive. However, at that moment, Beerus would begin to slaughter both at once. That's right, the power of Beerus was able to overcome them abysmally. However, Daishinkan and Zeno-sama at that moment were also trying to attack Beerus, but although they hit him, their blows had no effect on Beerus, who was currently the god that had surpassed all the limits of a king at all. Meanwhile, with Goku and the other warriors of Universe 6, he was training them in the same way. And since Goku was much more serious this time, he would begin his training with battles, since it was the best training for the whole body to adapt to the damage of the others, and also to possess Zenkais, while Hit was meditating to be able to unlock 100% of his killing ability. In another place of the 12 universes, the powerful Mikoshin was looking for Goku, not being able to locate him, even in his mind. Thoughts that Goku had died were passing through his mind. I don't think that powerful Saiyan who possessed Omni power will be defeated so easily. I'm sure he's still alive. Mikoshin, without giving up, would continue searching for Goku in every corner of the universe. Meanwhile, in the Angelic realm, Nin was prepared to end the lives of all the beings in Zeno-sama's multiverse, including Mikoshin. In 15 minutes, the 3 Supreme Commanders and I will head to the multiverse of Zeno-sama to finish with every scum of that place. After 15 minutes, Nin and his 3 commanders were about to leave. However, the most powerful commander of all would speak.
Nin-sama, but if even Mikoshin had been overshadowed by that Saiyan, we the 3 Supreme Commanders have thought of merging.
I think that's an excellent idea. Of course you can do it.
At that moment, a great pentagram would appear all over the place, and the 3 Supreme Commanders would begin to merge. After a great roar, a new warrior could be observed who had an intimidating appearance.
I am the result of the fusion of the 3 Supreme Commanders. We're ready to finish with all the trash of Zeno-sama's multiverse.
We'll even finish off Mikoshin if she's still alive, since she's a traitor.
Nin and that subject named Archon began to fly through all the space-time, crossing each of the megaversal barriers of the multiverses. After a few minutes of traveling, they had reached their destination. However, time in the Angelic realm passed in a very different way. While in that place it was only 15 minutes, in the multiverse of Zeno-sama, months and even years had passed, in which everyone had increased their powers in an amazing way. And in the same way, Mikoshin had resigned himself to find Goku, since he didn't feel any essence of his power and believed that he had already perished. Flashback.
Apparently, Son Goku did die in that battle, but it doesn't matter. And then I'll take his place and avenge him. When all this is over, I'll use the Super Dragon Balls to bring him back to life.
And at that moment, Mikoshin started with his great training in part of the 12 universes. And flashback.
That power is that of Nin-sama, and apparently she's accompanied by a very powerful being that even equal in his power, but I have trained very hard, so I'm sure I could deal with that power.
Mikoshin would begin to move through all the universes at an amazing speed, being able to quickly reach the planet of Beerus, realizing that Nin and the subject had not yet arrived. However, the moment Mikoshin would reach the planet of Beerus, everyone would be on guard.
Have you come to finish us off? Let me tell you that we have become very powerful, and it won't be an easy prey that you could just humiliate. Mikoshin-sama, I admired you as well as Nin-sama. I don't know what happened to you, but you were the goddess who loved life.
Mikoshin at that moment would begin to explain everything that had happened since the battle with that Saiyan. However, at that precise moment, both subjects had arrived to the planet of Beerus, which, in spite of being the most resistant planet among the 12 gods, began to be destroyed by the simple pressure that both warriors released.
So my suspicions were true. The only thing you did was to betray us. Now your betrayal will be paid with death. I want your head in my palace. Nin, please react. You're not this person. Someone's using you, and you're not able to react. You are the most powerful genius of all the multiverses.
Nin at that moment would throw herself against Mikoshin without caring what she said. In that instant, both goddesses began to exchange blows for all the universes. That's right, Mikoshin, being a prodigy, was able to reach a new power in a few months, being able to even equal Nin, who was a prodigy but had never dedicated herself to training.
Damn, I can't believe you have the same power as me.
But even with that, you won't be able to defeat me since the only way will be for you to end my life. Meanwhile, with Archon, the fusion was observing the three subjects with a very serious look. At that moment, without wasting time, Daishinkan would raise his power to the maximum, making everything around him rumble. Zeno-sama would not be left behind, since at that moment, he would begin with his great transformation, which at this moment was extremely incredible, having increased in an unreal way his power.
No matter what you do, you'll never be able to defeat me. The difference in power is like heaven and earth. No matter if you're a god or even angelic being, we'll not give you our lives without a fight.
Beerus at that moment would likewise begin to increase his power to the maximum, leaving Archon a little surprised by the power that Beerus was emanating.
The power of that cat's amazing. But even so, they won't be able to take me down, although it will be a difficult battle.
Beerus at that moment had also finished with his transformation, and at that instant, the three warriors had launched themselves in a savage way against Archon, starting to exchange blows as well. While Beerus and Daishinkan attacking together, Zeno-sama, who possessed the energy to eliminate a king altogether, he only launched attacks from a distance with the intention of finishing with a single attack. His coordination was perfect, being able to even put the powerful Angelic in a few predicaments. Meanwhile, in the dimension of Hit, everyone had finished their training. However, the beings that stood out the most were Goku and Hit, which had increased their power in an amazing way.
Hit, your assassination techniques are amazing, and with your time jump improved to 1 minute 15 seconds is deadly. No being would be able to withstand it.
No being? Then tell me how you're able to surpass my time jump. You're the only warrior that, despite using my maximum power, I could never even scratch him.
Goku at that moment would give a big smile.
I don't know, Hit, but it's time to get out of this place. I feel that the final battle is closer than we imagined.
It's okay, Goku.
While Kale, Khalifa, and Kaba, the three Saiyans in the same way, had increased their power in an amazing way, being able to access the Ultra Instinct without a problem, at that moment, he would create again his technique to be able to leave that place. However, at the moment of leaving, all of them would feel some incredible powers coming from the Beerus planet.
This is not a training. The power of Beerus, Daishinkan, and Zeno-sama is at its limit. It seems that the battle's still going on.
I better go help everyone else.
No, Hit! Let them reach their limit. Of course we won't let them die, but they must fight for their survival.
Returned to the battlefield, both battles were very evenly matched, or so they thought. Since both angelic ones were not using the power of Yamoto, which was a forbidden power that in exchange for an amazing power, they kept their essence every time they used it.
Master, lend me some of your power for me and Archon. I can't stand that these damned ones have the same power as us.
Of course, Nin, as you asked for it.
At that moment, an amazing power began to enter the body of both deities, which on this occasion had a great advantage. In a matter of seconds, the balance had changed drastically, since the power of the warriors had increased in an amazing way, beginning to massacre them.
What the hell happened? Where were they able to get more power from?
Archon, in a matter of seconds, had been able to leave Zeno-sama and Daishinkan on the brink of death. At that moment, Archon would begin to exchange blows with Beerus, which was the most powerful after Mikoshin. However, despite having all that great power, he was not able to face Archon. After only 5 more minutes of battle, Beerus would fall to the ground on the brink of death in the same manner.
They don't have enough power to finish this off.
At that moment, Mikoshin had fallen to the ground badly wounded. Meanwhile, with Goku and the others, Goku at that moment would switch to Ultra Instinct. With a serious look, he would observe Hit.
I understand what you're trying to tell me.
Hit at that moment would use Time Jump, being able to stop time for about 1 minute. At that moment, Goku at an amazing speed would get in front of everyone who were about to die by a large sphere of angelic energy. However, when time would return to normal, Goku had been able to disintegrate that great attack with only one of his hands.
But how the hell were they able to do this? They have no energy!
But Archon was able to notice a new subject, informing Nin.
So, a new protector. Now we'll finish you off too.
Goku at that moment, with his great speed, he would stand next to Nin, watching her closely. Archon, furious because he had been completely ignored, would direct a strong blow which Goku, with one of his hands, had stopped it, and in the same way had sent him flying with hundreds of wounds all over his body. I feel a strange energy inside of you. Apparently a powerful being is taking advantage of you. Don't say stupid things. You're a simple Saiyan that I don't understand what we angelic beings are. Angelic beings or not, you're imbeciles who have let yourselves be used by a being that is only the thing he needed was your existence to access his maximum power. Nin and Archon at that moment rushed against Goku, but to everyone's surprise, Goku had left them out of combat with a few blows. At that moment, Goku would stretch out one of his hands, transmitting a part of his power to each one of them, and would stare at Mikoshin. I knew that inside you there was a goodness. You never let yourself be completely manipulated by that thing. Thank you very much for giving me another chance. I'm getting better every day. At that moment, an incredible power would be felt all over that place. That's right, Yamoto had absorbed enough essence from all the beings who were asking for his power. Your worthy rival. Today I'll finish with all of you and I'll become the only supreme being. That's only if you manage to finish me off. Only if you manage to finish us off. At that moment, Hit would also begin to increase his power to the maximum, making everything around him tremble, and Goku would agree to his Omni transformation since he felt the bestial power of the guy who was in front of them. Goku and Hit had increased their power to the maximum. Without another word, they launched themselves against Yamoto, who, to everyone's surprise, had the necessary power to stop those two blows of an amazing power, with which they were capable of eliminating universes.
I can't believe it. I never knew of the existence of a god above the angelic god Zeno-sama. This is amazing, but I'll never stay behind anyone. I also have trained very hard. God of Universe 7 Beerus, the king of everything, and I will give you all your power so that you'll be able to also help them in this great battle. At that moment, an amazing power would begin to access the whole body of Beerus, which had been filled with an amazing divine power. Accessing his transformation and with a great speed and strong blow would send Yamoto to fly, which was not able to observe such a bestial attack.
Beerus, so you've increased your power as well. That's amazing.
Not only you have done it, I've also trained in the power of Zeno-sama and Daishinkan, so I'm not allowed to lose that because of that. How interesting it is to observe how the three most powerful beings of the universe unite against me, and even with that, they're not able to make a scratch on me.
At that moment, Hit would use his time jumping technique, except for Goku and Beerus, so that both of them would attack in that time opening. However, Yamoto had so much power that he was able to fight through space and time, which would surprise Hit.
If we don't put an end to your existence today, we're condemning all the beings of the other universes. I, as a legendary assassin, will be in charge of putting an end to you.
Hit at that moment, in the same way, at a great speed would join in the attack, which despite being 3 against 1, Yamoto would still have a great advantage, since he dodged each of their blows, being able to even connect blows with left of them very badly wounded. What the hell's going on? How's it possible that he's defeating us if we're 3 against 1? The battle would continue for a few more minutes, in which Mikoshin would be amazed at the power that the 3 warriors had, while Nin and Archon were out of combat as a brutal mental power released them. So this is the true power of Son Goku. I can't believe it. But he himself didn't seem to be able to end the life of that guy. At that moment, Nin would be the first one awake with a severe headache. What happened? Where am I? I feel like I've been asleep for 1,000,000 years. I don't remember anything. Nin-sama, are you alright? Mikoshin, long time no see. Of course I'm fine, but where are we? Mikoshin, noticing that Nin seemed not to remember anything what had happened, began to explain to him everything that had happened with every detail, and he was very surprised. So that bastard's been using me. I can't believe it. I'll never forgive him. At that moment, that Nin would leave the energy field, he'd fall to the ground because the pressure of the battle was overwhelming. So much, even the powerful Nin was not able to stand up in front of these great pressures. I'm not going to do nothing. That Saiyan, he looks so much like Akumo, the first Supreme Saiyan of our clan, so I'll trust him. Akumo? I've never heard of a Supreme Saiyan in the angelic world.
Akuma's time was millions of years ago, but the whole clan respects Akuma's descendants. As far as I could tell, this Saiyan has a great resemblance. Mikoshin would be surprised to learn that Goku was a descendant of such a powerful being. Nin at that moment would begin to communicate with his entire clan telepathically. Beings of all the angelic realm, the descendants of Akuma need our help. An extremely evil being is about to destroy everything, and I'm ashamed to admit it, but even I'm not capable of defeating him. Only him, but he needs our help. At that moment, hundreds of thousands of energies began to move through all the universes. That's right, the beings of the angelic realm of each universe began to transmit a great power to Goku, who, while he was fighting, felt like he was getting heavier and heavier while his strength increased in an unreal way. So this is the power of all the universes' angelic world. I won't let you down. Goku at that moment would communicate telepathically with Beerus and Hit. Guys, please resist. I need to assimilate all this power and be ready to finish with that wretch once and for all. Goku at that moment would begin to increase his power in an amazing way, which seemed to have no limit. In a moment, a being in front of him would appear, however, it was inside his mind.
So you're my offspring, but you need much more power. You need to return to Super Saiyan Phase 4 and combine it with your divine power to the maximum, since that state's known as Berserker and is capable of withstanding great amounts of energy.
Goku at that moment would understand everything Akuma said, and starting to increase his power, accessing Super Saiyan Phase 4, an amazing power was releasing Goku's body. Even all the universes were shaking from such power. After a few moments, a gigantic roar similar to the beast that had made every corner of the angelic realm and every universe rumble. Even Yamoto had felt great terror.
What the hell is this? The mighty god slaughters trembling for a mere mortal. This must be a fucking nightmare.
At that moment, Goku finished his transformation. His fur was very similar to the Ultra Instinct. While he was in Super Saiyan Phase 4, Goku at that moment would stare at Yamoto, who was torturing both warriors. Goku, with a very cold look, would move at an amazing speed with which no one was able to observe, would grant him a great blow in the part of the abdomen, which would make him spit a great amount of blood.
What the hell? How were you able to cause me so much damage with a single blow?
Yamoto, without recovering from the blow, had launched himself against Goku, which this time was not able to cause any scratches to him. However, Goku was amazed by the power he had, and even Yamoto would increase his power much more.
Don't think that was all my power. I've dominated the entire angelic realm for millions of years, so I have a great reserves of energy.
Yamoto at that moment would increase his power, with which millions of planets around him would be destroyed. The power was so much that even the barrier that Goku had put at the beginning began to be destroyed. Goku, noticing this, would stretch one of his hands, with which he would regenerate it completely. Goku, don't let him access his maximum power. This could be bad. I don't know exactly how much power he has stolen from the angelic realm. Don't worry, Nin. No matter how much power he stole, he won't be enough to finish me off. Yamoto, after about 3 minutes of increasing his power to the maximum, he could look much more confident.
I appreciate your patience in allowing me to access my maximum power. Now die.
Yamoto at that moment was able to hit him with a blow, which would send him to fly to Goku. But he would not finish his attack since Yamoto would begin to crash Goku with each star, planet that crossed around him. Even great energy attacks, which had the power to finish the universe, were launched into Goku's body. After a few minutes in which Goku had received each of Yamoto's blow, Goku would stand up.
Now it's my turn, don't you think? I must confess that you have great resistance. No being would be able to withstand all those blows.
Goku at that moment at lightning speed would begin to attack Yamoto, who did not believe that the power of his fists would be so much. That's right, Goku's power had also increased because every moment that passed, the battle his body was adapting the power of all the other beings. Goku at that moment would begin to exchange blows with Yamoto, in which in the exchange of blows, felt like his arms were trembling due to the power. However, Goku from one moment to another would increase much more of his speed, with which he was able to give a beating to Yamoto, which would leave him flying on the ground and spitting blood. But all of those present were astonished. Not even with his hidden power was he able to face Goku. I can't believe it.
Lord Goku has become truly powerful. He's capable of taking Yamoto's life without any effort.
We trust you, Goku. Finish him off and bring peace to all the universes.
Thank you for your words, my friends. This victory is dedicated to each of you.
I've not lost yet. I'll not lose to a simple Saiyan.
Yamoto, you never had a chance against me. Now it's time to end your existence.
Goku at that moment began to exchange blows at a high speed with Yamoto, but this time, Yamoto is no longer able to do anything against Goku, which this time had achieved a power that even surpassed the entire Angelic realm.
The day of your death has arrived. You manipulated millions of beings in exchange for their power, but not even with that power were you able to face me. You're a scum.
Goku at that moment would grant him a powerful blow, which would send him flying. Without wasting time, he would change one of his most powerful attacks.
Receive this! Hit of the Punisher Dragon!
An immense dragon would begin to destroy the whole body of Yamoto, who was screaming in agony. However, after a few minutes, the dragon, as its name said, punished its victim. That's right, Yamoto has been pulverized by such a bestial attack. However, all the universes were in complete chaos.
I'll not let the entire multiverse explode. With the power I will restore each of the time rifts that have been created.
Goku at that moment, with a loud roar, had released both hands of the Ozaru form, which were beginning to close each of the cracks his battle had caused against Yamoto. Those present were observed, surprised at such a feat part of Goku.
This is amazing! Not even the Dragon God Zama was able to stop such imminent destruction of the 12 universes.
After a few minutes, in which Goku had spent every drop of his energy repairing each of the cracks, he would return to his base state, badly wounded and on the verge of death due to the great energy he used.
Controlling all the cracks in space-time exhausted me. It hurt me much more than fighting against that named Yamoto.
In that instant, everyone would approach Goku, while Mikoshin and Nin, with their great celestial power, made Goku recover. After a few hours, Goku had completely recovered. When Mikoshin and Nin released the excess energy to his spiritual sea, Goku would stand up with a big smile.
So finally, now it's over apparently.
Lord Goku, I find your power a little hard to believe, but you three, Hit, Killer, God Beerus, and you, Lord Goku, we owe you our lives.
Goku, Hit, Beerus, you're welcome to join the Angelic Elite Squad.
That's right, you three will be able to be general commanders and your word will have the same value as mine.
I refuse after everything that happened. I want to return to my planet and spend time with my family.
I want to keep my position as God Destroyer of Universe 7.
I accept. I'll be the protector of every being of the 12 universes, and my squadron will be called the Death Squad.
Everyone on Beerus' planet would give a big laugh at the name of Hit's squadron.
Thank you for all of us trusting us. We have finally been able to wipe out every being that was evil in the universe.
With every evil being, I doubt it very much, since in every corner there will always be beings that overwhelm you in power. Needs right, so let's not give up our training in order to be prepared in the case something appears.
In that moment, everyone would accept and each being would have dispersed back to its planet, galaxy, or universe. 70 million years ago, there was an unimaginable void without any life, when suddenly emerged a being which didn't know it was himself where he was.
What's going on? What am I? I can't see anything. What is this immense void?
What he didn't know was, until that moment, was that he was an omnipotent being who was going to create everything known as the universe. He would even create a whole multiverse full of different types of life in order to find at some point an individual who could match or surpass the strength of his son called Zeno-sama. In Zeno-sama's palace, 30 million years after the birth of Zeno-sama's father, he introduces himself to his son.
Zeno-sama, my son, you've grown strong and apparently you've become very powerful over the centuries.
Father, I've always felt that my existence has no purpose. I often get bored. Why did you bring me to life to be bored?
70 million years ago, there was a void from which I was created. As I grew, I developed powers and immeasurable strength. As a result of that, a need was born in me to find a being who could match or surpass your strength, to even equal my own greatness. That's why I created planets, galaxies, universes, and living beings of various species.
All this was created just so that I could exist?
Yes, my son. Every star, every life form, everything has a purpose. To prepare you to be the supreme god of all that I've created. You're the main reason for all my creation.
It's a heavy burden, Father. Why me?
Because in you, I see the true potential to rule in this vast cosmos. You are the hope to maintain harmony among the creations that have sprung from my being. You are the missing piece in this cosmic chest.
Father, all this that you tell me is an enormous responsibility. I don't know if I'm ready to be able to do it. What if I fail?
There is no failure, son. Your very existence is success. Every moment in your life has molded you into the supreme being that you are. I trust you will fulfill your destiny.
What about you, Father? What role do you play in all this?
My role is to guide you from the shadows, to watch you fulfill your purpose. Finding balance in the universe is a task that requires your leadership. I'll be here, in the darkness, watching you carry out the mission I have given you.
I understand, Father. Leave everything in my hands.
Thus passed centuries, millennia, in which Zeno-sama was guided by his father to govern the immense multiverse he had created for him, but now convinced of the purpose he had in his life. In the present time, 30 million years after the conversation that Zeno-sama and his father had, in one of the universes created by Father Zeno, on a planet called Earth, Kakarot and Vegeta were training together with Whis and Beerus after having faced very powerful beings. While they were training, the Earth was illuminated by flashes of energy. As Kakarot and Vegeta embark on intense training, Whis and Beerus watch from a distance, assessing the Saiyans' every move as they prepare to rise in their skills.
Hey, Vegeta! Remember when we first faced Frieza? That guy was incredibly strong.
Yes, Kakarot. It was our first encounter with an enemy of another level, but we cannot forget the Cell Bug, that creature with cells from all of us. He put us in big trouble with his martial arts tournament. Luckily, your son became strong.
Both Saiyans exchanged energy blasts. Each hit and dodge was an echo of their long history of battles.
Ah, yes! The first time he showed the teleportation technique. That was amazing! Thanks to Gohan, we were able to defeat him.
But then came Majin Buu. That battle was unforgettable. We had to merge to have a chance.
Our fusion was great, but we also learned about redemption and kindness at that time. Buu became good because of you.
As they continue their training, the energy of both Saiyans light up the space. Whis and Beerus watch with interest.
Yes, but don't forget about Beerus, that god of destruction who almost wiped out the Earth with a single sneeze. Although in the end, he turned out to be more of a joker than we thought.
Yes, I remember when I tried to fight him in my Super Saiyan 3 form. I wasn't at his level, but at least I gave him a fight in my Super Saiyan God form, and that was possible thanks to all of you.
That's right, and now we're here, training with Whis and Beerus. We cannot let our guard down, Kakarot. There'll always be bigger challenges.
Exactly! Every fight makes us stronger. Let's keep training and bettering ourselves.
Of course. We're always one step closer to being the strongest warriors in the universe.
The training continues as Kakarot and Vegeta, under the tutelage of Whis and Beerus, strive to reach new levels of power in order to defend the Earth from new and more powerful enemies that may appear with the desire to destroy the planet that welcomed them. While Kakarot and Vegeta were training to overcome their limits, Whis and Beerus encouraged them to keep improving. Very good, Saiyans. Keep it up.
Yes, they're very strong, but I don't know if that'll be enough to keep my interest.
Suddenly, they feel a dark presence and the whole environment begins to become dark, and a dark, powerful presence fills the place.
What's going on, Mr. Whis?
Something's not right. I feel an extremely powerful and dark presence.
That feeling sounds familiar. Who could it be?
The darkness intensifies, and suddenly an opposing figure appears in front of them like a shadowy nebula.
Inhabitants of the multiverse, have you missed me? Hello, dear inhabitants of the multiverse. I've come to observe progress of my creations.
What? Who is this guy?
I don't know, Kakarot, but his presence is overwhelming.
No way.
What?
The figure lingers in a shadowy haze, with the speaker being the father of Zeno-sama, the omnipotent being who created the multiverse. This one appears in all multiverse, where all the warriors were training for future problems.
This guy is the father of Zeno-sama, the creator of everything we know of universes beyond our imagination. I didn't think we'd ever see him.
Sir, your arrival is unexpected. Forgive the insolence, but to what do we owe you presents?
The inclination of Whis and all the angels of different universes is because they have knowledge of who was the father of Zeno-sama. For that reason, they have a great fear and respect for him.
I see you've been busy, warriors. You have faced great obstacles throughout your insignificant lives, but this time has come. Are you strong enough?
We're always up for a good challenge.
Shut up, Kakarot. Don't you feel how powerful he is? How can you say that? Haven't you noticed something missing in the multiverse?
At that moment, Zeno-sama's father set out to tell them the reason for the ambiguous question. Moments before Zeno's father appeared before the whole multiverse, he was very angry because when he woke up from the dream of millions of years, he was surprised that many things had happened that went against the main reason why he created the whole universe. Because of this, he appears before his son Zeno-sama. In the center of the realm of everything, the overwhelming presence of Zeno-sama's father eclipses space. His voice booms like thunder as he directs his fury towards his son Zeno-sama. The latter, visibly nervous, tries to defend himself as the tension between the two intensifies.
Zeno-sama, you failed in your duty as Supreme God. All the warriors of the multiverse have overstepped their bounds and now dare to call themselves gods. Gods? This is unacceptable!
Father, I understand that this is all being misunderstood, but...
There's no excuses, Zeno-sama. Your lack of authority has allowed inferior beings to rise above us. How dare you let them usurp the title of gods?
I'm sorry, Father. I did not intend for things to come to this point.
The anger in Father Zeno's voice increases. His tone becomes more defiant and contemptuous.
Your intention? Your weakness has sullied the name of our divinity. The only god here is me, and no one else should dare to call himself that. No one!
Father, I understand that I'm in your debt, but we can find another way to restore order.
Father Zeno's response is an explosion of contempt and fury.
You do not deserve the title of god at all. Your weakness has tainted my creation. Because of your incompetence, I must restore the balance, even if it means getting rid of you.
What? Father, please don't do it! There's so much I can still learn and improve! I can fix all of this!
Zeno-sama's imploration is lost in Father Zeno's cold determination.
It is already too late, Zeno. Weakness must be eradicated from existence for true power to prevail.
In an instant, Zeno-sama's father unleashes a blast of devastating energy that engulfs Zeno-sama and begins to tear him to shreds as he screams in pain.
No, Father, please! Ah!
Order has been restored. No one else will dare to challenge my supremacy. I will now take it upon myself to re-establish balance through my creation.
In the present day, in front of the terrified warriors, due to what Zeno-sama's father had informed them what had happened to his son Zeno-sama, a being they all adored and feared.
You insignificant beings now understand. Because of this, I will destroy all the timelines and universes that exist. I am a divine being, omnipotent, and I can do it. But I will give you a chance to fight for your lives. So I'll organize a tournament in which the strongest warriors of the entire multiverse will participate so that the power will prevail.
Earth 2024.
What?
This can't be true.
Do you think we can face something like that, Mr. Piccolo?
Oh? We'll have to train a lot physically and, above all, mentally.
The idea of a tournament piques his interest, seeing the opportunity to test his own power and perhaps become even stronger. Thraxis Nocturne. Planet sunk in the shadows.
A tournament, eh? Well, I'll show that true power is not limited to divine beings.
I won't let them destroy our future. I will fight in that tournament and protect my own.
A tournament with the strongest warriors, huh? It'll be my chance to show that the Saiyans are not insignificant beings. We will see who is truly divine in this tournament. My empire will prevail.
A competition between the strongest. Interesting. I was showed that the Metacoolers are superior in all universes.
Nigerian, a world with perpetually cloudy skies where storms of dark energy lash the surface.
Father, this tournament will be the perfect occasion to show you that my power surpasses yours. Perfect. I'll show my true power and wreak havoc in every corner of the multiverse. Destruction in a tournament. What a magnificent combination. I will be the ultimate warrior and subdue all under my rule. Let's fight. This tournament will be my stage to demonstrate the power I've obtained.
Dracoria, homeworld of the humanoid dragon warriors and the descendants.
The threat of destruction is overwhelming. My fire may not be enough to face its dark omnipotence.
A shadow that threatens to destroy everything. My ability to manipulate the darkness may not be enough. Even with my swordsmanship, facing an omnipotent divine being will be an unparalleled challenge. This divine being has the power to destroy everything I love. My fire will be my defense.
A divine threat. My control over thunderstorms will be enough. This will be a challenge like never before.
After seeing the various emotions and thoughts of the main participants of the tournament, Zeno-sama's father begins to explain the rules of this supposed tournament.
Minimal beings. The rules are simple. The tournament will be to the death. It will be held in a timeless space where the laws of time and physics are temporarily suspended. The only way to eliminate an opponent is to make his heart stop. It is by killing him. There's no other way. In this tournament, it is either you or your rival. There's no limits on the use of skills. You must unleash your full potential without restriction, so as not to be destroyed in the process. I'll be the one who will watch over the whole process. The participant who wins will have the joy of facing me, putting his life and the life of his universe at stake. But I'm a PS deity, and I will bring him the opportunity to have a divine power similar to mine for a determined time. If he does not take the advantage of it, he will have to accept the consequences.
In spite of the uncertainty that the warriors have in front of what the father of Zeno-sama has said, some are excited and others are worried.
Wow, this sounds exciting! A tournament with fighters from all universes. It's gonna be great!
Why should we trust this tournament to be fair? By killing them?
So I can fight to the best of my ability. But killing beings that are just fighting for their lives is not nice.
I hope everything I've said has been clear to everyone. The only rule is that you have to kill your opponent so that they don't kill you. I want to make that clear. You will have to kill your opponent. The way we will check if you're worthy of calling yourselves gods.
Father Zeno disappears and everything returns to normal. You can see Kakarot's excited about the new enemy that is seen. It is very powerful. Vegeta, scared and worried about his family, angry with Kakarot.
Wow, that guy's incredibly strong. I'm excited to fight him in the next tournament.
Excited? Do you realize what's at stake, Kakarot? The enemy is dangerous, and we can't just underestimate him.
But Vegeta, that guy has awesome power. It's gonna be the best fight of our lives.
This is not a game, Kakarot. Do you realize that we're putting our families and the entire universe at risk?
I know it's serious, Vegeta, but it's also a chance to get better. Besides, Zeno-sama's father is excited about this.
I can't believe you're so carefree. My family's in danger and you're excited about a fight.
I'm not saying I'm not serious, Vegeta, but when an opportunity presents itself to measure our power, I can't resist.
You always think about the fight, don't you? Sometimes I wish you had a little more responsibility.
Vegeta, I understand that you're worried about Bulma and Trunks, but trust that we can protect them.
I don't like the idea of someone else deciding about our lives.
I understand, Vegeta, but do you really think we can ignore this opportunity?
I'm not going to lose my family over a fight, but I also know that I can't stop you from getting excited about the battle.
At that moment, the tension between Kakarot and Vegeta is palpable as they prepare to face the new enemy. While Kakarot is filled with excitement for the fight, Vegeta faces the situation with a mixture of fear and determination. Thus, the training of the entire multiverse for the survival of their species began. From the moment on, the most powerful warriors of all the universes began to train with greater intensity in order to save their universes and timelines. After having communicated with the entire multiverse from the realm of everything, the father of Zeno-sama would observe everything from a crystal screen, that the warriors were getting stronger and stronger. He sent his shadow warriors to slow down the process of them.
But what is this feeling that stirs my supreme being? A mixture of fascination and disdain. It's inevitable that mortals yearn for more, that they aspire to surpass their boundaries. Yet some of these warriors are reaching levels I cannot allow. Their power threatens the balance I've established. It's enough that they're mere participants in my tournament. They must be contained. They must be eliminated before their ascensions endanger the stability of my creation. My shadow warriors, creatures of the shadow and executioners of my will travel throughout all the universes. They'll be my instruments to stop these reckless advances. I will not allow the power of these warriors to grow beyond the limits set by my divinity.
Father Zeno, we're here to receive your orders.
Shadow creatures, my loyal enforcers, the time has come. The universes pulsate with an energy that threatens to destabilize the order I've established. Mortal warriors, in their relentless pursuit of power, are rising to dangerous heights. Their progress must be halted.
Your orders are our will. How do you wish us to proceed?
Each of you will disperse among the universes. Your mission is to find those warriors who dare to exceed the limits imposed. There's no room for compassion. The threat must be eradicated. Annihilate them without mercy.
We will, Father Zeno. No warrior will be strong enough to defy your will.
The shadow creatures set off to every universe and timeline to destroy every warrior who would participate. Along the way, they encountered weak warriors who they destroyed with these strong and very powerful ones. It was dusk when suddenly the Earth's atmosphere trembled with an unnatural darkness. In the blink of an eye, shadow creatures emerged from the interdimensional shadows, ethereal and menacing beings that would challenge even the strength of the mightiest warriors. Kakarot and Vegeta, training on the vast battlefield of Earth, sensed the arrival of an ominous presence. Shadow creatures, their ethereal forms and eyes burning with the intensity of darkness, materialized before them.
What are you?
We are servants of Father Zeno. Your progress has been noted and must be halted.
The will of Father Zeno is the supreme law.
The warriors have exceeded the allowable limits and will now be destroyed.
The shadow creatures moved with an agility that defied logic, leaving behind them trails of darkness. Kakarot and Vegeta prepared for the confrontation, their energies flashing in response to the threatening presence.
Well, it looks like we have new opponents. This should be interesting.
No matter who sends them, will not allow them to stop our progress.
The shadow creatures, speechless, rushed towards Kakarot and Vegeta with flashing speed. The battle ahead would not only be a test of strength, but a struggle between light and darkness, between the determination of the warriors and the will of the father of Zeno-sama. The battle rages and the environment, plants, stones, and sky are witness to the incredible demonstration of power. Kakarot and Vegeta, deploying a great amount of ki, are in the center ready to face the two mysterious shadow warriors that attack them. Shadow Creature 1 moves at breakneck speed, leaving only flashes of darkness in its wake. Its form is ethereal, almost impossible to follow with the eye. It attacks with incredible precision, throwing punches and kicks that defy the perception of time. Shadow Creature 2 stands out for its devastating power. Its every strike sends out waves of dark energy that distort the surrounding space. Its presence emanates an ominous aura that shakes even the particles of space. The fight begins with Kakarot and Vegeta charging forward, but the shadow creatures respond with astonishing agility, dodging every blow and counterattacking with almost invisible movements. Faced with the speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta are forced to raise their power to Super Saiyan level.
Vegeta, these guys are incredibly fast. I can't even keep up with their moves.
Looks like our usual speed isn't enough. We'll have to raise our power to the maximum.
Both Saiyans concentrate, their golden auras bursting as they transform into Super Saiyan. Their golden hair lights up the space as they launch into a fierce offensive. But the Shadow Warriors remain equally agile, gracefully dodging the attacks. The intensity of the power illuminates the space.
Now, Vegeta, let's go all out!
Let's go, Kakarot!
The Saiyans rush towards these Shadow Warriors with a fierce offensive. However, the Shadow creatures dodge their attacks with surprising grace, moving through the energy blast with ease.
Is that the best you can do, Saiyans?
Their speed is admirable, but they're still not up to par. Damn it! It can't go on like this, Kakarot. We need something else.
You're right, Vegeta. Let's take this to the next level.
Faced with persistent speed of the Shadow Warriors, Kakarot and Vegeta rise their power even higher, transforming into Super Saiyan Blue. Their blue auras flash with intensity and the pressure of their power shakes the surrounding space. However, the Shadow Warriors are not daunted. The battle reaches its peak as the four warriors are engulfed in a frenzy of energy. Kakarot launches his attack called Kamehameha, and Vegeta launches his final flash attack, but the Shadow Warriors respond with counterattacks that defy the laws of physics. Then the clash of these powerful attacks causes an immense explosion. At the precise moment that both Saiyan warriors, the shadow creatures, collided their attacks, the explosion resulting from the collision of the attacks left a crater on the battlefield, while a dense smoke obscured the view. Amidst the haze, Goku with a serious but confident expression, and Vegeta, also with a confident expression of having destroyed the shadow creatures with his attacks, stood on guard, ready to face whatever emerged from the smoke. Suddenly, as soon as the smoke dissipated from the battlefield, the shadowy creatures emerged unharmed, floating in the air with an even more intense presence. Their forms twisted, revealing an even darker and more powerful transformation. Now with eyes glowing with a more intense light, the shadow creatures uttered a great malevolent laugh and moved towards Goku and Vegeta with renowned ferocity. The sky was covered with dark clouds and lightning intermittently illuminated the scene. The creatures, once scattered, began to converge into a chaotic mass. Their bodies intertwined and merged, creating a monstrous entity that emanated a dark and malevolent aura. The fusion of the creatures was completed with a loud roar, and before Goku and Vegeta emerged, a nightmarish creature. The fused creature had a grotesque figure, with twisted limbs and glowing eyes filled with evil. Its body was enveloped in a halo of dark energy, which distorted the space around it. The ground shook with every step he took, and the waves of evil energy generated chaos on the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta exchanged determined glances. They knew they faced an unprecedented threat. The fusion of the creatures had given rise to a being of incredible power and speed. Goku frowned, clenching his fists, while Vegeta gave a cocky grin.
Kakarot, looks like things have become interesting. I didn't expect to have to face something like this.
Yes, Vegeta. This creature's no joke. We're gonna have to give it our all.
Both warriors raised their ki to the maximum, surrounding themselves with an intense golden and blue aura. Their hair stood on end and the earth trembled under the pressure of their combined power. The fused creature responded with a guttural laugh and advanced towards them with great strides.
Come on, Vegeta. Let's attack together and put an end to this.
For once, Kakarot, I agree.
The battle reached its climax as Goku and Vegeta, enveloped in their golden and blue auras, launched themselves towards the fused creature. Every punch and burst of energy echoed through the air, creating a spectacle of flashes and booms. The creature, however, was not easy to defeat. Its agility and strength were astounding, dodging the Saiyans' attacks with ease.
Vegeta, we need to find an opening in its defense. Focus!
I know, Kakarot, but this thing's fast.
The fused creature responded with a ripping attack, sending the Saiyans flying across the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, however, quickly recovered and stood up with renewed determination.
We can't underestimate this thing. Come on, Vegeta, let's attack together.
All right, Kakarot, together we'll defeat it.
Goku nodded and they concentrated their energies into an amazing combined attack. A brilliant flash of light and blue light materialized in their hands, growing with each second. The fused creature, seeing the imminent threat, tried to counterattack, but it was too late.
Kamehameha! Final Flash!
The powerful beam of combined energy shot towards the fused creature, illuminating the dark battle with its radiance. However, just when impact seemed inevitable, the creature, in the last act of desperation, deployed a dark shield that managed to resist the Saiyans' assault. The result explosion sent Goku and Vegeta flying backwards, returning them to their base form, leaving them dazed and severely injured on the ground. The fused creature, though weakened, struggled to its feet, its malevolent aura flickering, but far from fading completely.
Vegeta, we're in trouble.
This thing's stronger than we thought!
Vegeta, however, lay motionless on the ground with visible wounds and his aura rapidly diminishing.
Vegeta! Don't give up, Vegeta!
The fused creature, slowly recovering, calmly approached towards Vegeta with a palpable malevolence in its glowing eyes.
Your efforts are futile. I'm the amalgam of darkness itself. This is the end of you, Saiyan Prince.
Goku, full of rage and despair, stood up and threw himself towards the creature with what was left of his strength. However, the creature, with a simple wave of its hand, unleashed a wave of dark energy that enveloped Kakarot and threw him violently to the ground.
Vegeta, we need a plan.
The fused creature approached Vegeta, lifting him off the ground with one hand. The Saiyan Prince, barely conscious, opened his eyes to meet the cold, merciless gaze of his energy.
Kakarot, do whatever it takes.
The fused creature, with a contemptuous gesture, threw Vegeta back to the ground, leaving him on the verge of death. The battle, which had begun with hope, now became bleaker than ever. With his partner down and his own strength waning, Kakarot faced a strength that seemed insurmountable. Goku, sensing the desperation of the situation, recalled the hermit seeds he carried with him. The moment the fused creature came speeding towards him, Goku managed to dodge that blow swiftly, approached Vegeta and handed him one of the valuable seeds.
Vegeta, eat this! It'll give you the energy to keep fighting!
At the same time, Goku also consumed one of the seeds. Vegeta, barely conscious, accepted the seed and consumed it urgently. The hermit seed acted quickly, healing Vegeta's wounds and restoring his life energy. Flashes of golden light surrounded the Saiyan Prince. As he stood up, his eyes were gaining determination.
Kakarot, don't underestimate me. I can keep fighting.
Fine, Vegeta, but we need something else to defeat this creature. Do you remember the fusion technique?
Vegeta frowned but nodded in understanding. Both Saiyans positioned themselves in front of the fused creature, focusing their energies.
Vegeta, let's do it! Let's merge!
I don't think it'll come to this, Kakarot, but I have no choice.
Both warriors stood side by side, raising their hands into the front and began to concentrate their energies. The atmosphere was filled with a brilliant glow as the two Saiyans merged into a single entity. The resulting figure was a perfect combination of Goku and Vegeta, with a powerful golden aura enveloping their fused bodies. This fusion creature showed signs of unease as it witnessed the transformation. The new Saiyan entity turned to it with a determined look. The fusion between Goku and Vegeta, known as Gogeta, and his Super Saiyan form was now evident. Gogeta, with the combined voice of Goku and Vegeta, said, "Prepare for defeat. We're the fusion of the Saiyans, and there's nothing we cannot overcome." With a unified shout, the Saiyan fusion lunged towards the fused creature with incredible speed and power. The battle between the Saiyan fusion and the fused creature erupted into a frenzy of power and skill. Every move, every blow, every burst of energy shook the battlefield. The earth trembled under the intensity of the confrontation, and the sky lit up with the sparks of energy released during the fight. Gogeta, with the combination of Goku's cunning and Vegeta's determination, proved to be an unstoppable force. However, the fused creature did not yield easily, showing a resilience that defied expectations. Both contenders were at a stalemate, each pushing their limits to the max. Goku and Vegeta, in their fused form, began to feel the need to unleash more power to overcome their formidable foe. In a moment of perfect synchronization, both Saiyans raised their ki to the limit, and the atmosphere itself began to be distorted with the built-up pressure.
It's time to take this to the next level!
In a dazzling flash, the Saiyan fusion underwent an astonishing metamorphosis. His once golden hair now turned sapphire blue, and his aura took on a heavenly hue. The transformation to Super Saiyan Blue had taken place. The fused creature recoiled momentarily as it witnessed the new form. Shocked by the magnitude of the power unleashed, however, the Saiyan fusion showed no mercy and lunged towards with dizzying speed.
Prepare for true Saiyan strength!
The attacks and counterattacks reached a speed that defied perception. The fused creature, despite its previous endurance, was outmatched by the speed and aggressiveness of the Saiyan fusion in its Super Saiyan Blue form. The battle had not yet come to an end. In a final attempt to resist, the fused creature unleashed its own dark power, enveloping the Saiyan fusion in a spiral of chaotic energy. Gogeta, in response, concentrated his energy to the maximum in an act of rage.
Let's go farther!
The energy surrounding the Saiyan fusion intensified and exploded in a dazzling burst. The bright blue aura became more intense, and the power of the Saiyan fusion increased to unimaginable levels. The sky lit up with glows and waves of energy as the fused creature faced Gogeta's unstoppable strength. However, in an unexpected twist, the creature began to build up a dark and sinister energy, revealing a hidden power.
Your resistance is impressive, Saiyans, but you have not seen my true potential.
The fused creature transformed, its fusion distorting further. A black aura filled with malevolence surrounded its body as its eyes glowed with terrifying intensity.
What the hell is it doing?
The fused creature, now imbued with a new dark power, lunged at Gogeta with surprising speed. Despite Gogeta's formidable strength in his Super Saiyan Blue form, the fused creature seemed to be able to anticipate even more.
Now you'll experience true darkness.
Gogeta sensed the threat, deciding to take his own power to the extreme. In a blink of an eye, he activated the technique, the Kaioken. His blue aura multiplied into a mixture of blue and red, and the intensity of the battle reached levels never seen before.
It's time to put an end to this! Kaioken!
Gogeta's speed and strength multiplied exponentially, and the fused creature was momentarily caught off guard. However, the creature counterattacked with a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gogeta, but he struggled to resist. Gogeta, in his Kaioken state, felt the need to raise his power even higher. Thus, his ki increased, causing the earth to tremble from such immense power, destroying mountains and lifting rocks into the skies. At that precise moment, he disappeared from the sight of the fused creature, appearing from behind and creating a glowing bluish sphere of energy that materialized between his hands.
Final Kamehameha!
The energy sphere impacted against the fused creature with unparalleled force. The resulting explosion lit up the sky, dispersed the creature's dark energy. However, when the light faded, the fused creature emerged once again, albeit visibly weakened.
Do not underestimate my power, Saiyans. I have attained a form beyond your comprehension.
Gogeta, sensing the gravity of the situation, prepared for the next confrontation. The battle, far from over, was entering even more dangerous terrain, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance in this fierce struggle between light and darkness. The battlefield was plunged into utter chaos, with destructive shockwaves reverberating throughout space. Gogeta, with his combined aura of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken, was moving at speeds that defied perception. The fused creature, despite his new enhanced form, was momentarily outmatched by the Saiyan warrior's speed.
Darkness cannot defeat light! It's time to seal your fate!
Though weakened, the fused creature did not give up. With impressive speed, it lunged towards Gogeta, unleashing a series of dark attacks that even defied the Kaioken's speed.
Your light is but a fleeting glimmer. In the eternity of darkness, you will suffer.
Gogeta, with sharp reflexes at precise moments, will dodge the fused creature's attacks. The battle reached an even greater frenzy, with a clash of fists and kicks creating waves of energy that swept the surrounding landscape. The once dark and stormy sky were illuminated by the flashes on the contest. In the beginning of the moment of opportunity, Gogeta channeled the Kaioken to an even higher level. His aura became more intense, mixing blue with red in a dazzling display. Seeing the new burst of power, the fused creature recoiled momentarily, a moment Gogeta took advantage of to gather energy.
This is the limit of your darkness! Prepare for the end!
Gogeta, with unmatched speed, appeared in front of the fused creature, concentrating his energy to a single point. A glowing sphere of energy formed between his hands, but this time, the sphere was not blue, it was a mixture of colors. A fusion of the power of Super Saiyan Blue and Kaioken.
Kaioken 20 times! Final Kamehameha!
The now larger, more powerful energy sphere hurled with impressive speed towards the fused creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the entire horizon, causing the mountains and valleys to be enveloped in a dazzling glow. When the light faded, the fused creature lay defeated on the ground. Its dark aura completely dissipated. Gogeta, with his Super Saiyan Blue form and Kaioken still activated, watched cautiously. The intense battle had come to an end, but the price of the confrontation was reflected in the devastated Earth and the wear and tear visible on the Saiyan warrior.
I hope that was enough. This universe can't take any more of this destruction.
With a flash, Gogeta deactivated the Kaioken and returned to his base form. As silence descended over the battlefield, the lingering question was whether the threat had truly been eliminated or if there was still challenges to be faced in the vast cosmos. Goku and Vegeta, feeling that the threat had been neutralized for the moment, separated from the Saiyan fusion. The intensity of the battle had left both Saiyans exhausted, but their attention was diverted to a disturbing reality. In the corner of their vision, they watched as a small dark creature made its way towards where Gohan and Broly were standing.
Vegeta, something's happening! We must get there fast!
Those two are in trouble if that thing gets to them. Let's go, Goku.
Both Saiyans, despite their exhaustion, dashed towards Gohan and Broly's location with as much speed as possible. As they approached, they could see the dark creature getting closer and closer to the two warriors. Gohan, who was training with Broly in an attempt to increase his skills, noticed Goku and Vegeta's arrival urgently.
Dad! Vegeta! Something's coming!
Broly, with his piercing gaze, had also sensed the approaching threat.
Evil creature, we will fight.
The small dark creature, noticing the presence of the Saiyans, stopped advancing and displayed a malevolent laugh.
Your victory was short-lived. This is only the first of many surprises.
Before they could react, the dark creature split into multiple smaller shadows, surrounding Gohan and Broly with astonishing speed.
Watch out, Broly! They're fast and dangerous!
We will fight. We won't let them defeat us.
Goku and Vegeta, arriving just in time, joined the battle. The battle became a chaotic dance of blows and explosions as the Saiyans fought the dark shadows that multiplied endlessly.
Let's finish this quickly. Gohan, Broly, stay strong.
Got it, Vegeta!
Broly, unleashing his titanic power, emitted a wave of energy that temporarily dispersed the dark shadows. However, the dark creature, in a final act of desperation, merged back into a larger, more powerful form.
My shadows cannot be so easily defeated. The real battle has just begun.
The shadow creature, now strengthened and more menacing than ever, faced the four Saiyan warriors with palpable malevolence. Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta moved into battle stance, facing the shadow creature with determination.
Come on, guys! Let's work together and put an end to this menace once and for all!
Broly growled in agreement, his power emanating from him with an imposing force. Goku and Vegeta, despite their earlier exhaustion, raised their energies ready for the battle ahead. The shadow creature, with a sinister laugh, lunged towards them with surprising speed. The Saiyans responded with a coordinated assault, launching energy blasts and performing combo attacks. However, the shadow creature was agile and dodged their attacks with ease.
We can't let this thing get away. Concentrate on attacking together.
You're right, Vegeta! If we fight them as a team, we can overcome anything!
The four Saiyans synchronized their movements, attacking in harmony. Broly unloaded titanic blows. Gohan used his agility and advanced techniques, while Goku and Vegeta coordinated their energies to create a combined assault. Despite their efforts, the shadow creature proved to be resilient and adaptable. It defended with cunning and counterattacked with fury. In a moment of tension, the shadow creature unleashed a dark glow that enveloped its form, transforming to an even more powerful and monstrous version.
It's getting stronger again!
It doesn't matter. I'll destroy it.
The battle intensified as the shadow creature, in its enhanced form, launched waves of dark energy and unleashed more devastating attacks. The Saiyans, however, did not back down. Despite the gravity of the situation, their determination burned stronger than ever.
There's no limit to our strength when we fight together! Come on, guys, we can't lose!
This thing doesn't know who it's messing with. Get ready for what's coming.
Gohan, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta channeled their energies to the maximum, shaking the earth under the intensity of their combined power. In a unified act, the four Saiyans raised their ki to the limit and lunged towards the shadow creature with indomitable resolve. The shadow creature, now in its strengthened form, unleashed a dark energy that enveloped Broly, possessing the mighty Saiyan with a malevolent influence. Broly, his eyes now awash with shadows, stood before the other Saiyans with a menacing presence.
Broly, I won't let you be used as a puppet. We must save him. We won't let this thing manipulate Broly. Come on, guys, let's protect ourselves and save our friend.
This is getting more complicated than I thought. But no matter, we won't let the darkness win.
The battle began with the Shadow Creature using Broly's immense power against them. The controlled Saiyans' attacks were fierce, with waves of energy and bursts of ki that challenged even the most experienced warriors. The Saiyans dodged and counterattacked, but the Shadow Creature took advantage of Broly's brute strength to counter his moves.
We must weaken it enough to free Broly! Dad, Vegeta, let's follow the plan and attack in unison!
The three Saiyans coordinated, launching a series of swift and powerful attacks. However, the Shadow Creature moved with agility, dodging most of the blows and countering with blows of its own. Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, was showing superhuman endurance.
It's not enough! Broly, fight against this influence!
We must force him to break free. We're gonna give it our all.
In a moment of desperation, the Saiyans decided to raise their powers to the maximum. Goku transformed into Super Saiyan second stage, Gohan advanced his mystical form, and Vegeta unleashed his own power into Super Saiyan second stage. The three Saiyans surrounded Broly, launching a combination of flurry of powerful attacks.
Broly, resist! Don't let their darkness consume you!
The Shadow Creature, feeling the combined presence of the three Saiyan warriors, showed signs of weakness. However, in a desperate act, the dark energy intensified its hold on Broly, raising its power even higher and unleashing unbridled fury.
We can't give up! We're going to free Broly, whatever it takes!
The battle reached its climax as the three Saiyan warriors, Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, clashed against the Shadow Creature possessing Broly. The unleashed energy created a spectacle of flashes, explosions, and shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Goku, with his power as a Super Saiyan, moved with astonishing speed, launched energy blasts and accurate punches at the Shadow Creature. Gohan, in his mystical form, unleashed a combination of fast attacks and advanced techniques, seeking to weaken the dark possession that controlled Broly. Vegeta, in his Super Saiyan second phase form, displayed titanic power, coordinating his attacks with calculated precision.
Broly, listen to my voice! Don't be consumed by this darkness!
The Shadow Creature, however, resisted tenaciously, harnessing Broly's brute strength and ferocity to counter the Saiyans' attacks. Broly, under the Dark Possession, responded with unstoppable strength, his attacks more intense and uncontrolled.
We need to weaken that possession! Come on, guys, keep up the pressure!
This dark power won't last forever. We must resist.
The battle grew more frantic. With each passing moment, the Shadow Creature, sensing the threat of the Saiyans, intensified its hold on Broly, fusing its dark energy with the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan.
We can't back down now! Broly's our friend, and we won't let this darkness control him!
In a moment of perfect synchronization, the three Saiyans focused their energies into a coordinated attack. Goku launched a Kamehameha, Gohan unleashed a Massacre, and Vegeta fired a final flash, all aimed at the Shadow Creature. The resulting explosion illuminated the battlefield, creating an energy storm. However, when the light faded, the Shadow Creature and Broly still stood, visibly weakened but far from defeated.
It's not enough! We must find a way to free Broly from this possession!
At that moment, the Shadow Creature, taking advantage of the Saiyans' momentary weakness, launched a surprise attack, sending Goku and Gohan to the ground. Vegeta, with his rage in his eyes, stood up determined.
Enough's enough! We won't let this thing continue to manipulate Broly.
Vegeta concentrated his ki to the maximum, unleashing a new transformation. His intense blue aura transformed into an even brighter and more powerful hue.
Super Saiyan Blue!
The atmosphere itself seemed to tremble at the magnitude of the transformation. Vegeta, now in his evolved form, launched himself towards the Shadow Creature with renewed speed and power. Vegeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Evolved caused a dramatic change in the intensity of the battle. His bright blue aura flashed with overwhelming energy as he charged towards the shadowy creature and Broly, who was still under his influence.
It's time to put an end to this. Broly, I'll fight to free you from this darkness.
The Shadow Creature, sensing the threat posed by Super Saiyan Blue, adopted a defensive stance. On the other hand, Broly, his eyes still darkened, prepared to face Vegeta. Vegeta unleashed a flurry of quick and precise attacks, combining punches and kicks with astonishing speed. Each move was charged with the strength of the new form, and the Shadow Creature was forced to retreat in the face of Vegeta's fury.
Broly, regain control. I'll not allow this darkness to consume you.
Broly, under the influence of the Dark Possession, responded with impressive stamina. His attacks were brutal and uncontrolled, but Vegeta moved with a dexterity that defied expectations.
I need to find an opening in this possession.
In an act of bravery, Vegeta launched himself directly towards Broly. Their fists collided forcefully, and Vegeta, using all his skill, made precise strikes that temporarily weakened the dark influence.
Broly, fight this! You're stronger than this darkness!
The shadowy creature, seeing Vegeta's resistance, increased his energy and fused even more with Broly. Now the dark influence was more entrenched than ever, and Broly unleashed an explosion of wild power.
You can't stop me, Saiyan Prince!
Vegeta, not backing down, continued to engage Broly. The battle reached new heights as both warriors unleashed their most powerful attacks. Vegeta launched a big bang attack while Broly responded with a gigantic charge of dark energy. The collision of energies generated a huge explosion that blanketed the area. After the dust settled, Vegeta lay on the ground, clearly exhausted but not giving up.
I can't lose. My determination's stronger than your darkness.
The battle between Vegeta and Broly, who was possessed by the shadow creature, reached a critical point. The overflowing energy of the confrontation was spreading across the battlefield, distorting the air and creating palpable tension. At that crucial moment, Goku found himself regaining consciousness, stood up, and immediately went to Saiyan Prince's side.
Vegeta, let's go! Let's give it all we've got!
Goku's transformation into Super Saiyan Phase 2 and joined the fray. The shadow creature, seeing the arrival of another Saiyan warrior, prepared to face the new threat.
Kakarot, you're just in time. This thing has gotten stronger with Broly.
We'll face it together! Broly, we won't let this darkness control you!
The three Saiyans stood in formation, ready to deal with the shadow creature fused with Broly. The intensity of the conflict increased even more with flashes of energy and clashes of fists echoing throughout the battlefield.
Come on, Kakarot, let's attack in unison and free Broly.
I got it, Vegeta! Together, we'll free him!
The Saiyans coordinated their attacks, launching a combined blast towards the shadow creature. Despite their efforts, Broly's dark possession was still resisting, fueled by the brute strength of the legendary Saiyan. Broly, under the influence of the shadow creature, unleashed an uncontrolled fury. His attacks were unpredictable and devastating, putting the Saiyans on the defensive. Goku, Vegeta, and the shadow creature continued to exchange energy blasts and powerful blows.
Vegeta, we must break that possession! We can't let Broly fall into darkness!
Roger that, Kakarot. Let's keep attacking together.
Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, the fiery aura of the Saiyans lit up the sky, a visual manifestation of their mammoth power. Goku and Vegeta, feeling the weight of the battle, decided to take it a step further. They joined their energies in a symphony of power, a final bid to tear apart the shadows enveloping the evil presence. The shadow creature on the brink of the abyss responded with desperation. It raised its own power and the darkness churned with intensity as it struggled to resist the combined onslaught of the Saiyans. The clash of energies created a cataclysm of flashes and booms, shaking the battlefield to its core. At that critical moment, the energy explosion was unleashed with dazzling magnificence. The earth shook, and the shockwaves swept across the landscape, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, enveloped in the blanket of the explosion, were momentarily eclipsed by the blinding light and dancing shadow. When the shimmering luminosity faded, the Saiyans found themselves faced with a new scenario. On the ground lay Broly, his figure shrouded in a residual haze of the contest. The dark aura that had consumed him had finally dissipated. Stillness reigned on the battlefield. As the warriors approached with worried looks, the formidable warrior who now resisted, his power darkened, finally silenced.
We did it, Vegeta! Broly's free!
Yes, but this shadow creature's still a problem. We can't let our guard down.
Vegeta nodded grimly as they watched Broly, who lay on the ground, slowly recovering from the intense battle. However, at that moment of apparent calm, the shadow creature, cunning and unnoticed, had left Broly's possession to seek a new host. The dark entity swiftly swept into the shadows, unnoticed by the Saiyans, who still assessing their companion's condition. Silently, the shadow creature crept towards Gohan, who had been watching the battle from a distance. Gohan, oblivious to the threat looming over him, felt a shiver run down his spine, just as the shadow creature enveloped him with its dark presence. A momentary flash of its eyes indicated that something was terribly wrong. At that instant, Gohan, with a sudden alteration in his expression, went on guard without warning. His gaze, now posed by the shadow creature, glowed with a malevolence that contrasted with his gentle nature. Goku, noticing this unintention, turned towards Gohan, but before he could react, Gohan, under the influence of the shadow creature, moved with supernatural speed. The confrontation with Broly had left the Saiyans exhausted, and the shadow creature, seizing the opportunity, vanished into the darkness along with Gohan. Vegeta, realizing the situation, gritted his teeth in fury. The threat persisted, and now Gohan, a valuable ally, was in the hands of the shadows. Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for a new confrontation, aware that the battle had not yet come to an end. The tension in the air was palpable, as Goku and Vegeta, still worried about Broly, with determination, turned towards the place where the dark entity had vanished.
Damn it, where'd that thing go? I don't know, Vegeta, but we must find it before it hurts Gohan.
The two Saiyans, quick as the wind, rushed towards where Gohan had been standing, their senses alert. The shadow creature, now inside Gohan, emerged from the shadows with a sinister laugh.
Ha 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 ha! Looks like they're not as cunning as they thought. Now I have a new toy for my plans. Get out of Gohan, you damn creature! I'll not allow you to possess my son! Ha! You think you could stop me? My power possesses even more of your combined forces. Do not underestimate the Saiyans. We have overcome greater challenges than you. Leave Gohan and face your fate, creature. You'll not be victorious.
The shadow creature, now in control of Gohan, smiled malevolently before responding.
We'll see how long you can resist. Gohan is now an instrument of my will.
The shadow creature possessing Gohan unleashed a burst of dark energy that distorted the surrounding space. Goku and Vegeta suddenly found themselves during a chaotic confrontation, with Gohan now transformed into an instrument of the malevolent entity. The waves of energy radiating from Gohan's possessed figure created an ominous aura that filled the battlefield, defying the Saiyans' endurance and determination. The Saiyans, in their Super Saiyan Blue form, prepared for the impending clash. The shadow creature, using Gohan's body, moved with supernatural agility, dodging the Saiyans' first attacks with grace and malice. Gohan, his eyes now filled with darkness, lunged at Goku with astonishing speed. Goku blocked Gohan's first few blows with difficulty, feeling the enhanced strength and speed of his new controlled son. The fight was intense, each move charged with power and ferocity. Meanwhile, Vegeta positioned himself strategically, assessing the situation, looking for an opening to attack. The shadow creature, through Gohan, unleashed a flurry of attack, which devastating blows that kept Goku on the defensive. However, Goku's ability to adapt quickly to the battle allowed him to counter the attacks and counterattack with his own overwhelming power. Vegeta, sensing an opportunity, lunged at the shadow creature from an unexpected angle. However, the dark entity had sharp reflexes and deflected Vegeta's attack with ease, throwing Gohan against Goku as a distraction. The shadow creature's strategy paid off, as it took advantage of the distraction to hit Vegeta with a beam of dark energy. Vegeta, although he resisted the impact, was momentarily weakened. The entity, now with a malevolent smile, turned to him.
Damn it! This isn't over, shadow creature.
Goku, reacting quickly, stepped between the shadow creature and Vegeta.
Vegeta, hold on! We can't let this thing divide us.
The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos at its zone, released a dark aura that enveloped both Saiyans. The dark energy sought to confuse and weaken their senses. However, the Saiyans' instinctive connection to Ki enabled them to resist the dark influence. The battle raged in a frenzy of clashing colors and energies. Gohan, controlled by the shadow creature, moved with a mixture of speed and agility that defied the laws of physics. Goku and Vegeta, each focusing on their own battlefront, were trying to coordinate their attacks to free Gohan from the dark possession.
Gohan, fight this darkness! You're stronger than this!
Gohan, though showing flashes of resistance, was caught in an internal struggle between his will and the shadow creature's control. The battle grew more challenging. With each passing second, the shadow creature reveled in its ability to manipulate and corrupt one of Earth's mightiest warriors. Vegeta, recovering from the earlier onslaught, threw himself back into the fray. The shadow creature, however, anticipated his attack and gracefully dodged Vegeta's attempts to strike it. The dark entity counterattacked with a series of precise blows that forced Vegeta to retreat.
You damn shadow, don't underestimate the Prince of the Saiyans.
Goku, seeing his partner's difficulty, raised his power to the maximum. dazzling energy emanated from his Super Saiyan Blue form as he prepared for a concentrated attack. The shadow creature, noticing the glowing threat, diverted its attention to Goku.
Vegeta, keep up the pressure. I'm gonna concentrate my energy to free Gohan.
Vegeta nodded and increased his offensive, distracting the shadow creature as Goku concentrated his power. The fight reached a new level of intensity, with each move echoing across the vast battlefield. The energy collided, creating shockwaves that distorted reality itself. Goku, eyes glowing with determination, unleashed his most powerful attack. A sphere of glowing blue energy formed in his outstretched hands. Charged with the combined strength of the Saiyans, the spear grew in size and the power as Goku had held it in place.
It's time to free Gohan!
The shadow creature, realizing the threat, moved quickly to stop Goku's attack. Vegeta, taking advantage of the distraction, lunged with renewed fury, looking for an opening to attack. The battle reached its climax when Goku released the energy sphere, ascending it directly towards the shadow creature. The energy sphere burst into a dazzling flash, illuminating the battlefield with intense light. Shockwaves swept through the darkness as Goku's purifying energy sought to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession. However, as the light faded and the earth stopped shaking, the shadow creature emerged seemingly unharmed. The dark entity, now irritated, turned to the Saiyans with a twisted laugh.
Is that all you can do? My power is unbreakable.
Goku and Vegeta, despite their exhaustion, prepared for the next assault. The battle, far from ending, dragged on into confrontation of epic proportions. Darkness and light collided in an endless clash, with the will of the Saiyans resisting against the entity that threatened to plunge them into the shadows. The dark creature, after resisting Goku's powerful attack, showed a malicious smile. A dark glow enveloped Gohan, and his body began to tremble with intensity. A guttural scream echoed through the air as the dark entity forced a unique transformation on the Saiyan warrior. Gohan, under the shadow creature's influence, contorted and his body was enveloped in a dark, feral energy. The earth trembled with the intensity of the transformation, and Gohan's figure began to change. Defined musculature, red eyes, a wild gaze, long gray hair, and emerging in the new form, Gohan Dark Beast. Vegeta and Goku, shocked by the unexpected evolution, instinctively recoiled from the overwhelming presence of Dark Gohan Beast. The shadow creature had accomplished what it could not do with Broly, unleash a unique and uncontrolled transformation on Gohan. Dark Beast Gohan, now freed from any hint of rationality, roared skyward, emitting an overwhelming energy that shook the battlefield. His eyes glowed with an animalistic intensity, and his posture indicated that human control was suppressed.
This can't be happening. What did that thing do?
The shadow creature managed to unlock something inside Gohan. This won't be easy.
The shadow creature, pleased with the success of its manipulation, watched the scene with satisfaction.
Now, witness my true power. The Saiyan Beast Warrior. How do you plan to stop him?
Dark Beast Gohan let out a deafening roar and lunged towards Vegeta with impressive speed. Dark Beast Gohan's attacks were ferociously savage, his brute strength and speed surpassing even Broly's most rampaging transformation. Vegeta, using his speed and agility, dodged Dark Beast Gohan's first attacks. However, the Saiyan Beast Warrior's ferocity was unpredictable, and Vegeta was forced to deploy all his skill to stay out of range of the devastating attacks. Goku, assessing the situation, transformed into Super Saiyan Blue and rushed to Vegeta's aid. The two Saiyans fought in tactical coordination, looking to open an opportunity to counter Gohan's savage new form. The battle became a whirlwind of energy, with explosions and crashes echoing across the battlefield. The shadow creature in the shadows continued to manipulate and fuel Dark Beast Gohan's fury. The Saiyan strategy was becoming more and more challenging as Dark Beast Gohan seemed to be one step ahead, anticipating their moves.
Damn it! Gohan Beast is too unpredictable.
We must find a way to free Gohan from this transformation. We can't let the shadow control his true power.
As the Saiyans faced Gohan Beast's fury, the shadow creature watched from the shadows, enjoying the chaos he had unleashed. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment, and the Saiyans' endurance was being tested in the face of Beast Gohan's uncontrollable fury. The battle raged on in a titanic struggle between light and darkness, with the hope of freeing Gohan from the influence of the shadow creature hanging in delicate balance. The Saiyans, determined to overcome this challenge, faced an enemy that had managed to unleash an even greater internal threat than before. While the intense battle raged on the battlefield, Piccolo, the Namekian sage, was immersed in his mental training somewhere secluded. His concentration was so deep that he could feel an abrupt shift in ki, a disturbance that reverberated through space and time. A shiver ran down his back, indicating the gravity of the situation.
Something's not right.
The Namekian instantly stood up, his cloak billowing as he focused on the direction of the glowing chaos. The power he felt was not just brute force. It was an amalgam of dark energies that seemed to defy the very essence of reality. Wasting no time, Piccolo prepared to approach this side of the conflict. Back on the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta fought valiantly against Dark Beast Gohan, who moved with uncontrollable ferocity under the influence of the Shadow Creature. The Dark Entity, sensing Piccolo's arrival, smirked.
Looks like we have a new guest. This just gets more interesting.
Goku and Vegeta focused on Gohan Beast, noticing Piccolo's presence as he appeared on the battlefield with a serenity that contrasted with the surrounding chaos.
What happened here? What have you done with Gohan? That shadow thing possessed Gohan and transformed it into a wild beast.
We can't free Gohan this way. The shadow creature manipulates his power in unimaginable ways.
Dark Beast Gohan, noticing Piccolo's arrival, turned to him with wild eyes. The shadow creature, enjoying the chaos, prepared for the next act of this heartbreaking play.
Welcome, Piccolo. You're just in time to witness the inevitable downfall of these Saiyans. Don't underestimate the Saiyans or my determination. I'm here to free Gohan.
The Namekian braced himself for the confrontation, deploying his ki with an intensity that made it clear he would not be a mere spectator in this battle. Dark Beast Gohan, fueled by the shadowy influence, roared and lunged towards Piccolo with a speed that defied all logic. The battle became even more chaotic with Piccolo's entrance. His movements were precise and calculated, contrasting with the wild ferocity of Dark Beast Gohan. Goku and Vegeta, aware of Piccolo's strategic skill, adjusted their approach to coordinate their attacks with the Namekian. Meanwhile, the shadow creature watched the battle with a Machiavellian smile, enjoying the confrontation between the forces of light and shadow. The Dark Entity was determined to prove that its influence was insurmountable. The fight unfolded in a whirlwind of colliding energies, with Piccolo demonstrating his tactical and strategic prowess. Dark Beast Gohan, however, remained a formidable challenge, his erratic movements and uncontrolled strength testing the tenacity of the warriors on the battlefield.
Goku, Vegeta, we need to plan to break the connection between Gohan and that shadow creature.
You're right, Piccolo. We need to attack from different fronts and destabilize that connection.
I'll take care of keeping Beast Gohan busy. Kakarot, you use the connection you have with your son to try to isolate the shadow creature.
Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their efforts with Piccolo's strategic expertise, went on the assault. Piccolo used his wisdom to be able to devise a way to get Dark Beast Gohan out of said possession, while Vegeta unleashed his fury with calculated attacks to keep the beast at bay. As the battle continued, the shadow creature began to feel the pressure of the combined strategy of the Saiyans and Piccolo. The connection between Gohan and the Dark Entity was under threat, and the shadow creature, despite its confidence, was beginning to show signs of concern. The battle was far from over, but the warriors' resilience was growing stronger in the face of the adversity that loomed over them. As Piccolo continued his mental struggle to free Gohan from the shadow creature's possession, his Namekian senses sharpened. Keen perception led him to identify a small shadow leech clinging to Dark Beast Gohan's lower neck, a detail that had not been evident in Broly's previous possession due to his long hair covering that region.
That's it. The key in this little shadow leech on his neck. We must eliminate it to free Gohan.
Piccolo's revelation attracted the attention of Vegeta and Goku on the physical battlefield. Vegeta, upon hearing this, turned his gaze to the back of Gohan Beast's dark neck and noticed the presence of the Shadow Leech.
A Shadow Leech? That explains why we couldn't free Broly this way.
How do we eliminate it without harming Gohan?
As Piccolo struggled to maintain his mental connection, he analyzed this situation and came up with a strategy.
If we attack the Shadow Leech directly, we might harm Gohan in the process. We need a precise way to eliminate it without endangering his life.
So what's the plan, Piccolo?
Goku, you've mastered Ultra Instinct, but you can only maintain it for a few seconds. We need to take advantage of those brief moments to distract Dark Beast Gohan and allow you to get close enough to destroy the Shadow Leech.
Understood, Piccolo. I'll do my best. But how do we make sure Beast Gohan doesn't attack while Kakarot's approaching?
That's the tricky part. We need to keep Gohan busy and distracted. Vegeta, your attacks must be precise and constant, keeping his attention on you.
I will, but Kakarot, don't make me regret this.
The battle resumed with renowned intensity. Vegeta went on the offensive, attacking Gohan Dark Beast with a series of swift and powerful blows. Gohan responded with ferocity, but Vegeta maintained agile, dodging his attacks while keeping the savage Saiyan warrior's attention. At that moment, Goku concentrated, channeling Ultra Instinct. An aura of flickering energy surrounded him as he activated the powerful transformation. His speed increased exponentially, allowing him to easily dodge Dark Beast Gohan's attacks.
Now, Goku, now's your chance.
Goku in his Ultra Instinct state moved with superhuman speed towards Gohan's rear. The shadow creature, still focused on the fierce confrontation with Vegeta, did not notice Goku's approach. This is my chance to end this! With pinpoint accuracy, Goku reached out his hand and touched the small shadow leech on Gohan's neck. The leech, upon being touched by the Ultra Instinct energy, began to fade, emitting a dark screech before dissolving completely. Dark Beast Gohan, losing connection with the Shadow Leech, shook violently, as if releasing himself from a trance. Vegeta, noticing the change, cautiously stepped back as Goku returned to his normal state. What happened?
Kakarot seems to have found a way to free you from that thing.
It was risky, but it worked.
Well done, Goku, but don't let your guard down. This shadow creature might have more tricks up its sleeve.
The immediate threat had been neutralized. The shadow creature, watching from the shadows, moving away unnoticed by the Saiyan warriors, was not about to give up. So the shadow creature set out to return to its master. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful likes, Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.